Do it.
So, last time we left Mitros behind on the backs of our 4 dragons and flew to the island of the dragon, where Hexia once resided with her elven people. But we don't care about the corpse of a green dragon. We care about what is underneath. The legend of this kraken monster that destroyed Mitros's library section that was distinctly about it. We hunted it down into the depths of a gulf by this island. Deep, deep down. A few minutes of swimming directly down until we found its lair. Inside its lair, we found some treasure after fighting some sharks with an army of frogs. We dove into his lair, found some treasure, found that the treasure was horrifically guarded, not only by a demon, but by traps that could actually hurt us quite a bit. Wasn't fun to look at. Then we started needing Arcana checks, and we were doing okay, but as it turns out, Aravandar is pretty good at Arcana, so he came down and started looking over stuff. Opened a giant door to a even gianter room with etched sort of like depictions of world events that mattered to a red dragon. The well, like mattered to a specific red dragon, not only a red dragon, the first red dragon. Just its eye, and we spoke to it effectively through Derifaxel, who was being like controlled-ish by this red dragon because she is a red dragon. Basically, was told, "Get me out of here, and I'll be free." We had a huge conversation out of character and decided let's not free the evil dragon. For we know all reds except Derifaxel are bad. And instead try and flee the Kraken. Thankfully, we're pretty quick people overall, and we managed to escape before the Kraken got to us. I think we pilfered some treasure, but we didn't have enough time to take all of the treasure. In that time, we discovered that the Kraken is in fact so horrifically powerful that Cantermain, you remember the big bad evil boss that we fought that kind of recently that almost killed us all, and it was barely like by the skin of our teeth, and like one person left alive managed to kill him. That would be a chew toy to this thing. Now we're scared, and we're back to downtime. I think that's it. I think that's it.
Not quite.
No?
You're skipping a few steps here.
What did I skip?
After you've escaped the Kraken's lair, basically moments before it returned, you immediately set off on Dragonback. What is your destination here? Are you going somewhere else first?
I think we went to the island of the Exiles.
The book.
Oh yeah, we went book hunting, right?
Because that is very relevant. Your dragons, as it stands right now, have not rested for any amount of time for the past 3 days. If you want to go somewhere else, and considering the anger of the Kraken that currently surrounds the entire island, staying here, while technically an option, is probably not a good one. They would be exhausted to the bone, like to the point where if they went another day without sleep, they'd die of exhaustion. Which means that wherever you go next, you're probably going to have to stay for a while.
Here's a question for you, Sheep. So you told me out of game that the winds and stuff that mess around with the seas will make it so that I can't teleport. I can only do it on mainland Thylea. Does that work if I'm on the sea and trying to get to mainland Thylea? Or is it just like, don't even bother prepping it while you're at sea because it'll be useless?
Teleportation to a destination in the Cerulean Gulf may be possible with a high chance of failure. Into the Forgotten Sea, not possible at all. From the Forgotten Sea to mainland Falea is not that difficult. Like that would be the normal failure chances.
Gotcha. So once I learn teleport, we could get back to Mitros at least, and the dragons could recover there.
Let's just fly back to Mitros. If you're gonna fly anywhere, that's the place you want to be staying if your dragons are tired.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, we might
I
as well
guess,
go
but
to
I gotta
We
get
have
that other.
time.
We're not. Yeah, we're not under any time restraints, so we could just go to Mitros and then leave again later.
It was like, yeah, we got used to over that couple months to have to go everywhere fast, but
Yeah,
Mhm.
we are under no time constraints
Yeah.
anymore.
it's another couple months.
Sure. I mean, I guess I'll just go on my own to the Island of the Exiles. That's fine.
I mean, Artemisia can go with you, but
Well, I just think like they can start resting and then like it only a couple hours to scribe it down and then just teleport to Mitros, so it wouldn't be that much later.
Sure.
But yeah.
I'm okay with it. Basically, it's just that Dimas looks to Zuxia, and it's a long trip. Kind of wishes that he could take some of that load. So she had,
Yeah.
like 3 levels of exhaustion from flying anywhere.
I was gonna say Ariat is like she has been switching with Arjun. She's not riding the whole way because she actually can fly.
Well, we can't really switch with them. We can just take some of the load off of them for a bit.
No, yeah, that is it.
But
She's
they still
not
have to
riding
carry
Arjun all the
themselves.
time.
Yeah. Yeah, could do the same thing, cast fly for a bit. Try to lighten the load.
The load is not the particular issue, but the fact that they can't sleep while flying,
Yeah.
and the fact that they have to fly for basically 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
It's travel by Dragonback is very possible. It's how the Dragonlords survived initially, but it is hard. Like not necessarily for you guys, but for your
them.
dragons for sure. And they are too proud to say anything about it.
Dimas says, "Oh, if we could teleport, that'd be much better for me." Just
Yeah.
If it's
Well,
that easy.
if we go to that island, you could go visit your sister's tomb, hang out for a bit. The dragons can rest, and then when I learn
Yeah.
teleport and get the book, I'll just bring us all home. No problem.
There's no great interest in visiting that tomb again.
Say again?
Dimas has no great interest in visiting that tomb again.
Oh,
It's
there
not
you
like
go.
it's this place,
Yeah, it's not like you really knew her.
It's like, look at the you that failed. Great.
Sounds like a decision then.
Have you scribed the thing and then teleport?
All right, to the Island of the Exiles then.
Wait, what? That's what we're doing?
Yeah, it'll probably take like a day.
Yeah, I thought that was your destination.
I think
Okay.
rest
Alright.
and go back.
That is the island you just talked about.
I thought we were going back to Mitros and then, like, later we would go there. So the dragons
Oh.
have like 6 levels of exhaustion.
It's the same travel distance either way, right?
Sure, but then we don't have to wait a week, on some random island.
I think
No,
what
no. He.
No, it would only be a day. It would only be a day.
Okay, sure. Just
Yeah.
is it a day for us to get rid of all of the exhaustion levels?
Just one.
Yeah, I think that's what Manikai is saying. Is instead of going to the island and resting until our dragons are
Right.
all
No.
better.
You don't have to do that. No. I can teleport us while they're exhausted. Just get back to Mitros once I learn the spell.
The book
they-
that he gets the spell
Yeah,
from
I just
is
just
on
need to
the
go get.
island.
I
of
just need to go get the book.
I thought the spell was a scroll we got.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's a different book that also has shit in it that I need.
All right, sure.
Or just
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
yeah, rest for one day in there, then they can rest the rest of the time in Mitros.
Oh, rest the dragon. The dragons don't need rest. They're
They're-
good. You know, just take a little nap. That's
Just gonna
all I
go,
need.
yeah, sunbathing
You know,
at the beach.
there's a nice rock here, smooth. Just sit on it for a bit. Oh man, it's all young dragons too.
Yeah.
All,
I
all
mean,
fucking competing.
the sizes here are a bit misleading. Aravander and to a lesser degree Argon are, and Derefexor, I suppose, are basically just large enough to carry you. Yeah, like
Yeah.
barely. They are pony equivalents.
Yeah, they're like ponies where like Xerxes is like actual big young dragon size, right?
Oh yeah.
Like a horse.
Although I'd imagine she's actually carrying like most of your supplies and such.
Makes sense.
And Demas' sets of armor.
Yeah.
He's bringing every set of armor with him on Xerxes' back.
I mean, I can't physically wear all of them. So
Maybe what Aravanda's just gotta carry Artemisia, a shield, and a sword.
Yeah.
That's
oh,
it.
No wonder
And some
she's
javelins.
just as exhausted.
It's true. It's sort of unfortunate to be the dragon that has to carry the one full plate.
Mhm.
Compared
And all
to
the
plot
rest of the
armor.
full plates.
Yeah, you know.
Oh boy. Yes, Island of the Exiles sheep. To answer your question.
All right. Still old tokens from you in here. I'm curious. And then I need one of you to give me a D20 as you travel, and from all of you, a perception check.
Net 20.
There's a net 20. Look at that.
Oops, sorry. Ignore that.
Give me another D20 then.
Don't forget the dragons.
Oh, yeah.
Although I guess they'd have disadvantage, right? 'Cause the exhaustion.
Yes.
Yeah. They're no disadvantage. Darthaxel still did better than I did.
I was gonna say, where do they have
Aravanda.
even?
Yeah, +7 according to the young bronze dragon skills. They have a +7.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dang. Then actually it'll be 26. I don't have that listed.
Double check because I've got a young bronze dragon on my extras list on Artemisia's D&D Beyond.
Nice.
Can you give me another D20, Seraph?
Sure. 11.
11.
Need to change her skills.
Then, as you travel, guided by the Antikythera and the stars, towards the Island of the Exiles, a location that you've visited before. Your dragons, as explained before, they are showing signs of this travel leaving their mark, to say the least. At some point, I think Derefexel would bend over to Darius to talk to him. See, perhaps hisses some discontent at the decision, although not strongly. Just she looks over to Ervander, looks over to Argon, and says something along the lines of, "The others are too proud to show their exhaustion. I am too proud to not agree with your decision. It is efficient to go there. However, do keep in mind that should we encounter any resistance, we will not be of much help. In addition to that," as she bends down looking at the sea, "I believe we're being followed. I don't know if it will follow us the entire way, or if we can lose it somehow. If it does follow us all the way to the island, that would spell trouble.
Let's fly to Arisia.
Whoa. Whoa, let's fly to Mitros. It's got a fleet.
Yeah, we can't lead them to Mitros. Or
No.
I remember
Bad.
the island of the Exiles. I remember it being. It was not terribly large, was it?
It's not very large. It's fairly rocky, fairly high. It doesn't have much in terms of construction on it, other than, well, the 2-minute center.
Yeah.
I
Say,
think I could have risked it.
you know
Because-
that I'll never let anything happen to you again, and I will look after the others as well. Just need time to write this, and then you won't have to do this as much, at least on the return journeys. Can we fly into the clouds, try and lose it?
We could, but we risk exhausting us even further.
Sorry, I'm just trying to look through my stuff, see if I don't have that greater restoration scroll anymore, do I? No, that would only work on one of them anyway. For the sake of the dragon's proudness, I'll use message to relay this to Artemisia, I guess you're the Lord of the Dragonlords, and ask for your opinion on what we should do.
So thing following us, dragons are getting exhausted. We might exhaust them further.
Yeah, and I think that they would get 4 levels of exhaustion. If they got another 2, they'd be dead. So
Okay.
we might have to just chance it. Maybe we go to the center of the island.
Yeah, I think we'll go as far inland as we can.
Yeah.
Give us as much chance. If water is its domain, if water is where it's strongest, let's go as far away from that as possible. And
Well,
Highest mountaintop in the center of the island of the Exiles.
yeah,
And
I mean, what's an extra, like, I don't know, max hour flying compared to
yeah,
2 days worth of
exactly.
flying? I think that's
And if that's not
reasonable.
enough, then I will fight this thing personally to defend the dragons.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd fight to the Artemisia will fight.
Fight to the death. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll relay that to Dareth Axel.
The Rex was quiet for a bit before she says, "If I were it and you had just raided my lair, I would be angry at the audacity of it, although mostly at the things taken from it. Perhaps if it is as intelligent as it appears, it could be negotiated with."
I actually just had another idea. Is it possible enough to be stable that I could try and do the work on your back, and then we wouldn't have to go the 2 days? And then we just lose it by teleporting away.
Is Darafaxel
Inst-
suggesting dropping the shit that we stole?
Basically, yeah.
Let's drop the
Yeah.
shit that we stole. We don't need the money. We're good.
Yeah, or alternatively, if instead of distance, we just focused on staying in the sky stable, I just learn how to teleport and then take us to anywhere. They wouldn't know where to follow us.
As much control as you have over the wind, flying on Dragonback is inherently not an airline cruise. It's It's a strenuous mode of travel. It's not enough for you to get the benefits of a long rest or do anything that requires constant concentration.
Let's just go to the island as planned. If it comes to talk to us, we'll talk to it.
Mhm.
And this is not money we stole. This is payment exacted to repair the damage it did to my library. It started this whole thing. I didn't. It didn't want the
Fair enough.
consequences. It shouldn't have done it.
All right.
Let something break into Mitros and wreak havoc and get away with it.
Derfaxo seems skeptical but doesn't say anything. All right. A day passes, and then another, as the weather fortunately remains stable. Although in part that is helped with the magic of the instrument of the bards for sure. You eventually leave the Forgotten Sea behind, entering the quieter weather of the surrounding gulf, and eventually spot the familiar island, the island of Exiles. I will make the map available for you so you can get a look at it. Make sure to copy your tokens over to the new map.
Yes.
Why did this enter?
Basically, as soon as you circle over the island, land in its center anywhere, your dragons, one after the other, collapse. Like just in a heap of snoring scales, basically. Xerxia makes a bit of a pretend endurance. Like she's fine, but then also quickly just falls asleep. And chances are you will not be able to wake them anytime soon.
Okay.
They now have 5 levels of exhaustion, which means they cannot move, they've got disadvantage on everything, and they have half hit points.
5? That's just 4.
No, it's 5. For travel, the first day is free, and then every consecutive day is another level of exhaustion.
Oh, gotcha.
2 days travel, 1 on the island, 2 days travel. We always take, if we go to an island, we take a full day. So there would be 5, I guess. Yeah.
So 2 levels per.
It's
after
3
the
days
first day.
travel on Dragonback.
Oh, 3 days.
I thought it was 2. Because you said the harp was included in that.
The harp is included in the 3 days, yes.
Oh,
On the
3
old
days.
cloth,
Oh,
it
I
was
see.
2 days.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so,
Understood.
yeah. There's no immediate sign of any kraken-like creature attacking your camp here. Nor is there any sign of anything or anyone else, really. Previously, you remember there being a bunch of people here, most of them in cages, captured by elves. But other than plentiful wildlife, really nothing. Seems entirely abandoned.
I mean, which is great news if we lure the gigantic monster here. At least, we won't have to defend civilians.
Yeah. All right, I'll get to work immediately on stealing these secrets that will get us back to Mitros without it following us. And see how far that gets, I suppose. And then Darius will do.
Pick up the book.
Oh, I'll do that afterwards. Priority
Well,
one
just
is
saying.
no, I know, but priority one is getting teleported as fast as possible, so
Okay.
that if something does happen, like you guys and the dragons come first. And then I'll get the book if I can. Yeah, I guess I'll just perch on a roof or something and start trying to decipher that scroll and copy it over.
Sure. Between snoring dragons and the writing Darius. Oh, what did the rest of you get up to?
Well, there's a few houses here. I guess Demas will go exploring, just sort of knocking a door, look around, just, occupy himself a bit. Stretch his legs to get rid of those sitting cramps of being stuck to a dragon back for 3 days. After being stuck to a dragon back for another 3 days. Be nice to move around a bit.
Yeah, the houses and buildings here, you've seen them before. They're, well, decrepit, abandoned. Although they still look as if they've been lived in, even in their abandoned or like broken down state before. The only real building that is in any good shape, to be the temple/tomb.
I think Artemisia's going to collect water for the dragons. Presuming there's got to be some form of fresh water from the town.
There's a few like small springs around.
Yeah.
It's a
so-
fairly hospitable island, all things considered.
Yeah, I think she'll make like a small trench and start filling it with water. Keep herself busy. Knowing that they'll probably be quite thirsty after flying. No water for almost 6 days.
On that note, does the different dragons, supposedly the ones like Argan has grown up in the city, does she even hunt sheep? Or is she used to being included in meal preps?
I'm a dragon who expects to be pampered quite a lot, actually. She won't expressively
No, I
say
figured.
that,
'Cause
but
I think that Ariad would they've traveled not for a long time, but she'll she'll gather some food, but not stray if she can help it, not stray too far, because the dragons are vulnerable right now, and but she if the others are if someone's staying in the camp, she might go and try it and do some light hunting or something.
yeah, Argon definitely has a haughty streak to her, an expectation of having authority. Although she these days at least rarely explicitly tries to abuse that.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, no, I mean, why would she hunt? Like, she's grown up in Mitros. Like, what? No way. Yeah, no, Ariad will go to she sees Artemisia going for the water, and she'll she's not really aware of how if the other dragons prefer to hunt for themselves or something, but she'll start gathering food. They might not feel like it when they wake up anyway. And I think she actually likes pampering Argan a little bit, you know?
All right.
She'll stay clear of fishing, which is what she normally would do to get food, but you know.
You arrived here about noon, perhaps, to an empty town, if you can call it that. The calls of birds, the smell of, your average forest, however that smells. And not much action happening,
dirt.
really, other than the activities you get up to. The day eventually fades. Darius can complete his work in that time, I believe. I'm not sure how much time it actually takes.
It will take 14 hours
14,
and
okay. That'll take some
400
time
and
then.
350 gold pieces. Let's see. I don't know, like melts the gold or something into its essence to, I don't know. Copying
Magic
over spells is
happens.
weird.
That's all it costs.
Learn-
I've got like thousands of gold. Just
Yeah,
laying
learn
around.
the
Ow!
secrets of the multiverse and how to bend it.
Just don't spend money. What have I got to spend money
Harriet
on?
never got gold.
I think this is before you
I think
arrived.
we split the pot once,
So I don't.
You need gold.
and we
No,
still
what
haven't.
she's
If anyone needs gold, like you could just have it.
That's the
I think
thing. We split it so long ago, and I never used it. So I've still got 5,000 gold just laying around.
I did the math on how much it would take to copy over all the spells, assuming I get the book, and it leaves me with exactly 3 copper. I was like, oh, there we go.
We have more than 100,000 in the stash. So if anyone needs money, they can just come
Yeah.
to us and ask him for money.
Ask it.
You know, you could pay for 5 of his magic weapons now.
actually sheep. If Arya goes hunting, like presumably if the island has been left for a while, like can't you sort of get a feel for that looking at the wildlife? Because if there's not been a lot of people around for a while, it might be a little like, I suppose, more out in the open. Or has it not been that long since they left?
You could. I think perception would be most appropriate here, unfortunately.
Survival?
Survival works too, yeah, actually.
I totally
Got a
realised,
trait.
Sheep, I'm just going to pop the instant fortress up.
Yeah, that
Use that
works.
as like a base next to the dragons.
25.
Yeah,
Hey.
looking around, you definitely recognize the telltale signs of people having lived here, although under rather minimal circumstances. You know, the remains of campfires and like spit roasts and those things. No larger civilization, and they seem to have all disappeared some time ago, like months at this point, maybe even longer.
Yeah. Okay. Well, as I remember it, Valis said something about having to, close down the island after we killed Chandras. So,
Yeah. He must think it's a bad way to punish people anyway. They just get to live on an island. Ah. What about is this problem was always too much.
she'll definitely bring back some game to.
Compromise.
Demos is very much in the gulag.
No, he's like, they're
Camp.
bad. Then we'll fucking kick their ass. Just don't be a bad guy.
It's not hard.
No, something hard.
Put that on like above the gate, the main gate to Mitros. Just don't be a bad guy. Demos,
Just
king of
bro.
Mitros. And done. Easy.
Bro, just
Bro, chill.
Yeah, that seems to be it then.
Eventually, night falls. Do you put up watches or anything, or you just all go to sleep?
Yes.
No.
Watches.
We survived. We survived being hunted by titans. That was done by not.
Being dumb. Yeah. Yeah, I think Juniper does like flies around every once in a while, comes back down to rest, like does like little rotations looking for ripples in the water and whatnot. But for the most part, I mean, I'm just focused on copying the spell as fast as I can, so I don't think Darius does.
Well, I mean, I think we can vibe in the adamantine instant fortress.
Yeah,
Of the
that's
Dragonlords.
definitely a good place to study.
Yeah. So I'm not too
Probably
worried,
fine.
and we can go on watch on the top because the top is
I
parapet.
was gonna say, yeah. How
Yeah.
cool is that standing up there? I mean,
Yeah, that's
if
pretty
it's
cool.
night, I suppose can't really see much. Well, I guess I can see much actually, but
I think most of us can see decently well in the dark. So I think Demos is the only one without dark vision.
Yeah, do you want to have doctors?
Yeah, sounds about right.
He's just a human. But he
He's-
can sleep if you guys want to take the watches.
yes, you know, hey. I mean, he can get like the
Once
early ones
again,
once it starts getting light again. That's when he gets up
There you
and
go,
like
yeah.
does his
go.
exercise anyway, right?
So where
Like,
we get 8 hours sleep, he gets 12 hours sleep because
well,
why not?
Doesn't need that much.
I was gonna say, where does Greece line up? On the equator, maybe
Pretty
nights
high.
don't last that long. Yeah.
It's
So then, what time of year is it? Either a really
Oh,
long night
God.
or a really short night.
we're gonna fucking technically, you know.
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
now I'm actually curious where it does sit.
It's
That's a
no
tangent.
equator is Central Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa. It's not actually
Yeah.
that far.
Oh, there you go. Standard night then.
Greece is very much on the same line as most of it, like US.
Yeah, I think it's Greece
It's just
is like
Mediterranean.
central US, yeah. Like North Texas, sort of. I'm gonna like. Yeah. North Texas to like, I think that's Kansas. Yeah, Kansas.
Not that we're all comparing this to a country that none of us live in.
It's literally central US is how north it
And
is.
then you kind of compare to in Europe, Greece. I mean,
Yeah.
very much
Sounds like
Greece.
Greece.
And like, okay, Japan. Like the north half
There
of
you go.
Japan is about Greece. There you go. There's a
You know,
There we
mhm.
different metric.
There we go.
That's basically it. Yeah.
Anyway,
The other side of Asia, there's Turkey. Same.
All right. How about all of you who are keeping watch give me a perception check?
All right.
It will
Oh yes, my
take place
weakest
during
roll.
your part of the night.
20. Whoa. That advantage though.
hang on,
You
I
know,
guess
is it weird that it gives me comfort that this thing, if it's it, would sneak up on us? That means
Yes.
it's not like super confident.
This Demos just is like
Bah.
it could probably sneak up on Cantamine. I'm not gonna look that hard.
Hey, that's a lucky roll for me. +1.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. My perception's +3 because I'm wise.
I rolled dog shit.
I'm a wise boy.
All right. The night passes without incident, as far as you can tell. Eventually, the morning arrives. Your dragons, they're not gonna wake up for a while still. They're probably gonna sleep for basically a week straight, unless you wake them violently.
But they are
Um,
inside the castle, right? Or were
Yeah,
they-
I assume as
Okay.
much.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. If they're
Demos
outside,
is-
I'm outside.
Demos is strong enough to roll
To
them
move
in.
them. That's what he's doing while you guys are hunting.
Uh,
Carrying
like-
dragons. on his
we
back.
built
Squeeze them in.
we built like the half of like a wagon, and then like the front of it is just Deimos' back, and then like
You know-
someone else has like a trolley. They push the butt of the dragons on.
You know the thing they do on the like the strongman competitions where they lift the train? The Demos is just like, I knew that this was worth it.
The benefit of this kind of travel is that usually the dragons are too proud to let me lift with them. But right now, Arvander and Dareth Axel just sort of, one each hand, and then they did bench presses. Like, yeah.
Hey, I think we could fit them in there.
I will take a level of exhaustion to finish the work through the night. If I
Alright.
may.
If you're skipping a rest, that's what happens.
Then I shall do so.
All right. So waking up and going outside, looking outside around our big fortress. Are there like big tentacle marks or like a death warning in the sand or whatever?
Give me a survival check.
We have black marks on our hands now.
We get squirted all
It
over.
like just let us know that it could touch us in our sleep.
Nope, I don't know.
You see
maybe
no
Artemisia
sign of
does.
anything.
Maybe Artemisia knows. She's wise. Huh?
No, you don't really see anything. Nothing seems disturbed.
Ariad looks, but then she gets like, "Oh, my snares worked," and she's like picking. Hey, wow, there was a lot. Hey, I can really tell you. No way. Then she gets into meal prep.
I guess I'll try because I'm gonna go out look for that book. So. Survival disadvantage. No.
Darius looks at, wow, that's a lot of game there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, no, not for
Impressed.
you.
No, of course.
The
All
heroes
for the
eat
dragon.
rations. This is dragon food.
Absolutely, it's dragon food.
All right. Well,
As you can tell, it was a nice night. Nothing disturbed you.
yeah.
If it was chasing you, it's probably not here anymore.
Yeah, probably not.
Just in case, Harriet, while I walk the island, would you accompany me? Should something happen, we could. If you could take us back to the rest of the party, then I could get us off the island very quickly.
Oh, yes, of course. There's like a moment Arya is like sitting there like skinning a rabbit where she's like, in what world are you expecting me to fly you? And they're like, oh wait, teleportation, yes, got it. Dimension door, yes. But it was like I was like looking at him like, early morning nursing a cup of tea, like, what? Oh, right, yes. Boy, I'm sorry, Darius. You were the one who hasn't slept. She like,
Yeah.
Do you want a
Nope.
cup of tea with you while we walk, or?
Oh, casually cracking open the secrets of the multiverse does call for a nice brew. That would be lovely. It
It's
smells
local
amazing.
specialty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll grab a.
Sips the tea. Ah, thank you. Use mage hand or something. Have like a magical thermos to take it in. Well,
Just keep prestidigitation the mug.
yeah. And then I'll walk around the island casting locate object.
Yeah, it doesn't take too long for Darius. Turns out it's buried like behind one of the abandoned houses. It wasn't really well hidden at all.
Ah, motherfucker. All right, now your secrets are mine.
It's like in the stable, but behind like a wooden crate. So
Mhm.
it's
Yeah,
Buried
just
in like
like a
shadow
Jedi,
hole.
just like mage hand the box over to me. Like, there we go. Crack it open, make sure the book's there. All right. Thank you for entertaining me. We can leave whenever the rest of you are ready now. I assume it's in the box.
Yes.
No! On this island, I have buried 13 boxes, all of the same make, and all with a fake
Yeah.
copy of my spell book.
And then just
Ah,
use Oh,
motherfucker.
locate object on the book itself. Oh shit,
I'm glad I killed him.
motherfucker. Yeah,
That's such a wizard thing to do, though.
yeah.
I spread the pages of my spell book. You have to gather the Morse code.
What are you doing? Yeah, and then if there's no problems, we can just walk back instead of dimension dooring.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no problems finding that book here.
Cool.
Like in the mind's eye, it's like ready to like dig or like
Yeah,
magically dispel, and then it's just
on a
like
shelf.
a rusty metal box. Like
It's doing a
With some
little
dirt on it.
gleam when you walk by to make sure that you don't miss it,
it's
video game style.
like a big X on it. Yeah. Well, are we playing on teleport? I mean, we might as well let the dragon sleep, right? Like.
Mhm. We also do have that dragon spa in Mitros. Could just take him straight there. We could relax for a while. Check in on well, Icarus claimed to be leaving, but the coppers I think are still recovering. And yeah, there's a environment for each type. Might be nice. Or we could stay here.
I mean,
Right.
if we're not
So
here for
what
anything
do you-
else, just go back to
Yeah.
Mitros.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will break out the secrets of the Kraken and cast teleports, with the target being all of us, and the destination being once Artemisia packs up the instant fortress, and the destination is the dragon spa in the palace.
Okay, give me a D100.
Oh right, that's a thing.
It is. I mean,
I completely forgot.
Mitros is very familiar, but there's still
49.
49. Yeah. You arrive exactly where you mean to, like a wizard.
Ah,
I love that everyone else is just gonna assume like, no, yeah, I mean, this is how teleportation work, right? Like,
yeah.
yeah, well done, man. Like, it's only one time when we are gonna be like landed on some half roof, and we're like, what the?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Then we're gonna assume it's
Yes.
intentional.
It's gonna be like, that's a weird thought, but I guess Darius would know that we needed to land on this volcano. Like I guess he chose that for some reason.
Mhm. Suck it, Damon. Don't need you anymore.
So you
Stay in your
land in your
stupid little
dragon
graveyard.
spa at the Palace of Mitros.
Yes.
Surrounded by like a flurry of copper dragons, basically suddenly running around like chickens.
Ah!
We need like a teleport arrival room. I'll have that made. A room
Yeah, there we go.
put Darius to get really familiar with it, and then I want like I want like a bell or something I could ring to signify that we're there, so someone comes and tells me whatever
Ding,
is
ding, ding.
news.
Yeah,
Give
there
me
you
like
go.
get me up to speed as soon as possible.
Yeah,
I'll have that made.
there we go.
That seems like a great idea.
I don't know how to research teleportation circle, but that could be a thing. Connect all the stuff. But I'm not a real wizard. I'm a multi-class wizard, so I just
I'm not a
plagiarize
real
other
wizard.
people's work.
There's
I'm
a-
just capable of plagiarizing other people's work.
So there's a difference between a teleportation circle and a portal, right? So teleportation circle is just a place that's easier to teleport to,
Oh, okay.
while a
Then-
portal would be like a two-way Gate.
Like a
Yeah.
gate, yeah.
A gate, yeah, definitely. Oh,
Oh.
I mean, I have that hell gate. I should figure out where that goes.
To hell.
Not today.
presumably.
Not today. Yeah, no, but I mean specifically.
Have fun in hell.
Like, what I mean is like, when you hit it to come back. Apparently, it's got like a specific spot that you come back to in Thylea.
Wait, who
Like,
did
that's
we
probably-
loot it from?
Sidon.
Yeah. Might be his place, you know?
I mean, now that I can teleport, it would literally just be like press the buttons twice, then cast teleport, and then be like, oh, there you go. I just got all the answers in like a minute. But not today. But I have to wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was thinking like that's gonna have to be a whole thing. Got to be ready to land anywhere and see what happens when we come back. I'm like, oh no,
Do we want to still visit the Trickster
we good.
to learn more
Yeah.
about these horrible monsters?
I'm not overly into that.
I mean, we definitely need to give these guys a break for at least like 2
Oh, yeah.
weeks.
I've got kinging to do, just in general, if we're interested.
I'm not too bothered, honestly.
It's just because it has information about the Kraken and other such beasts.
It does.
Well, I thought that's why we wanted to go there originally.
Yeah, there was rumors that a massive beast attacks ships that go there.
Yeah. I think that in the meantime, I'm gonna go to see the Old Wood Druids again and apologize for using sending on them, and then they said that someone might know stuff about the Kraken, so that's something you can do more immediately.
I just looked at the blacksmith like, why did I put to be done, doing, and done? And I remembered that that's the time island. So
Oh.
we're doing all three tenses at the same time.
Right. You've returned. Dragons are sleeping, and we can go back finally to activities. Also, Candyman is still on this map. That's not true.
Are we back on Metros?
Yes, let's swap back to the Metros map. Make sure your tokens there are up to date.
Oof,
I'll just
copy.
We just cut and paste.
yeah.
No.
Oh man, I've got to load all the cached files.
There's a lot of assets. Yeah.
Man. All cached. I don't know why that's taking so long. Map tools, you're on a SSD, man. Come on. What you playing at?
Yeah.
Same,
So
honestly.
it turns out the army that was the second fight. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
back for another
They're
round.
back. Yeah. There's actually only one map. The rest of these are tokens. Different tokens.
Oh God.
They're all different entities. Sheep has all their stat blocks taped to his wall behind his monitor for
Yes.
quick referencing.
DM screen is
The
the house paper.
the
Oh,
GM
yes.
note is just like on each token is the grid reference to where the stat sheet is on the wall.
Oh,
Third column, fourth row. Right, okay.
God. Shit.
There's apparently already an Argon token on this
Yeah.
map.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say,
a
I
lot
already
of
did
people
the one
who
that
are-
I had on here, but there's still one.
There's a
and
whole bunch of all
That's
of
the wrong
us
thing.
in the chat?
somewhere.
Now the one that I just updated is not, it does not exist.
There's Argon.
Oh, the battle map from Kentamane is still there, and we're all still there.
That's.
Delete
Oh yeah, I'm
those.
just gonna delete you.
I think
There you
I've
go.
deleted myself over there.
Okay, you should be able to paste Argon now.
Oh, baby
There we
Aravandar.
go.
He's just hanging out by himself.
He is the lone survivor.
He's studying
That's
the
his story.
he's studying the like new pilgrimage site
Mm-hmm.
of
Yeah.
the Shield of Mitros.
Vanished. Poofed
This
away.
means like it's got like 3 different meanings. That site of the Shield of Mitros.
It's titled that, but
Yeah.
the story changes every time. Every telling, the story changes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've gotten to the point in our fame now where we have to avoid people. Because if
Teleportation
someone,
also helps with that, yeah.
yeah, because if someone asks us to do something that is like worthy of us, and we turn it down, we start losing fame points.
Why
What?
would you turn it down?
I don't know, but it's like
Because it's beneath us.
Nope.
Can you go
because-
clear out the rats in my basement?
yeah, like we're at
I'll start a smear campaign if you
I
don't.
don't think that counts.
so we're at 14, and so it says. Is any form of challenge or quest. So if we back down from any sort of challenge or quest, may cause us to lose up to 6 points of fame.
Hmm.
So we now supposedly dread disappointing our fans.
I feel like people think we can't lose.
Yeah.
So that tracks for Demo.
Scary or scared is the opposite of that.
We could go make a public appearance in Mitros or Astoria and gain a small magical item on the lesser magic items table. Like, we just get that.
Ariad is good of, you just mentioned avoiding people,
Artemis is good with just flying everywhere.
Well, she's not really, but
I think Artemisia will personally exile herself from any public forum if she can. I think Aravandar is more charismatic than horrifically more charismatic than Artemisia. Bronze dragons have +3, 17 charisma.
Ariad has a lot of charisma.
Yeah. Just madness.
Mhm.
Yeah, it'll they'll wake up in a week, but like how long until the dragons are like feeling,
A week.
good
I think it,
again?
I
Is
think
it like
it
the
is a
week?
week, basically. It's one full rest removes 1 level of exhaustion. So if they have 5, then it's
Right.
at least 5 full days of rest, effectively.
Yeah, a week at the earliest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ariad will go to the library, get Argan, the books. Some books she wants. She's probably read them before, but
Sheep, can we do like a Temrare thing where we can build like writing tables for dragons, so they can have like a scribe that writes down what they write?
Sure.
I think I need that for Aravandar. I need a scribe for Aravandar. Can I hire a scribe for him?
You can absolutely hire a scribe.
I will hire a scribe. He shall live in the mountains.
Right, so the dragons will need a week to recover. What are your plans after?
More of the same.
Mm.
For Artemisia. That's it. That's me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
resource.
basically what I'm asking is, do you split up again and do downtime activities, or do you want to head out immediately again to somewhere, or?
Well, the next week we really can't, but
No, but afterwards, I would like to visit the Trickster to find out what that's about. But if y'all not feeling it, he must got being king to do, so it's all good.
yeah, I'm down to visit the Trickster. I think over the next week I'll be in the Old Wood, and I'll come back in time for that journey.
I mean, if you guys want to go, then I guess I'll come.
If you don't want to.
I'll come
Yeah.
with, but like,
Yeah, I mean we're investigating the Kraken, and might be able to find something
yeah,
else.
we should.
In the meantime.
I was gonna say, I'm assuming that the week that we're waiting, we are also setting up like, hey guys, yeah, we know that stuff got taken from a library. We would like, to fund some, research projects on, that's
Yeah. And move everything to the vault. Everything to your Castus is must have had like an underground panic room. Move all the library stuff.
Yeah.
one,
I mean,
really?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Do you want to come back to the old wood area, or are you good?
I don't think Ariad would leave Argon. She'll stay back in Mitros and sort of, try and make life as comfortable for Argon as possible. She'll, visit the library.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely make sure that Dareth Axel is like comfortable, and then
And
but once
she'll
it's like
definitely,
right,
Sage Darius. Like, she also, the fact that he goes means that she can stay and pamper Argon, but she'll definitely also look after Dareth Axel.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, having teleport means that now I can like go and come back real quick. So I would appreciate it. Great.
I'm just gonna grab a drink.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I mean, let's do Trickster. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, Sheep, if I'm planning on teleporting, like not to the old wood, but like just outside of it, because I'm sure that they would also find that disrespectful to like teleport right in their grove. But can I hit the button on the Hell Gate twice to see where it takes me in Hell and in Thylea? And then when I get back, I'll just teleport to the old wood from wherever I pop out.
You can, if you're sure you want to.
I mean, this thing seems to, it's working as advertised. So I cast Identify on it first, make sure it's all up to snuff, not broken, and then, yeah, sure, I'm gonna go for it.
All right. Are you alone when you do it? Where do you do it?
Maybe I'll get on the other side of this mountain here, like over here, close to the new holy site.
Okay. You take the cube, the ruby with you.
At some point, I got to figure out where it goes before trying to save Kira.
As you activate the magical teleportation device, there's the distinct smell of sulfur and a wave of heat. As with almost a slurping sound, the environment around you suddenly changes. Darius finds himself in a place he's been before. Not the same location, of course, but the same oppressive, almost heavy air, the same sulfur smell, the same absolutely barely endurable heat, flaming trees as he finds himself on what looks like an ashen tundra. Looking around, he can see way, way to the horizon. If it is the horizon, it seems very, very close. With basically nothing. Ash clouds floating overhead. It's a burning wasteland that he finds himself on.
He'll take a look around, and then I just want to cast Misty Step to see if teleportation magics work in here.
Misty Step.
Just like off to the side somewhere.
It gives a bit of a lurching feeling, but short range teleportation seems fine.
Short range. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm not going to blow it here. We'll see. See how that. Yeah. Maybe I'll do this another day as well. But I'll press the button again.
All right. Press the button again. The same effect occurs again, although this time in reverse, basically. And Darius finds himself, well, a similar wasteland, although it's more savanna. You can see trees, you can see a large stretch of just sandy, grassy area. Darius is pretty good at geography at this point, I think. You're pretty sure that you're somewhere north of Astoria.
Oh, I'm in like the Centaur lands.
In the Centerlands, yeah.
Oh, cool. Good to know. He'll sort of take note of that and then teleport outside the Old Wood.
You can certainly do that. Give me a D100.
Okay.
Because that is a
And
location.
I'm really stupid. I keep forgetting that's a thing that we have to roll. 37.
That is a location that you've seen casually.
Mhm.
You cast the teleport spell and find yourself in a forest.
I get lost for a while.
Basically, like this
Mhm.
is a forest.
I tell nobody.
How does Darius proceed here? Because that is actually sort of relevant here.
I mean, I'm sure he knows how to fend for himself survival wise, and I guess I'll just make a camp and then cast the teleport again in the next day. Or try
Okay,
to I guess he'll find like if there's a rocky thing or a tall tree to levitate. Oh, he just levitate. I'll just cast levitate and go up above the woods and see where I am.
that's workable. You cast the spell and hover up, and the environment, while definitely familiar, it's perhaps a perspective that Darius hasn't seen before, even on Dragonback. Because you are north of Eresia.
Really?
In the forest north of Eresia, which Darius, with his history check, may remember as a place notorious for large predators.
Oh, good.
Although he is at a level where even large predators aren't that big
Yeah,
of a deal anymore.
he can fend for himself. I guess I'll head towards the city just to see it and like I don't know, walk around, pay for a room for the night, and then try again the next day.
You want to float towards the city or walk towards the city? It would be quite a trek. It would not be a single day.
Okay.
You'd basically be in this area
I
on
can see
the
I'm on
world map
Metros.
in Metros.
Oh, okay. Nah. Then I'll just cast fly and like find a nice cave or something on a mountain and just sort of hang out.
Easy enough.
Enjoy the view. Try again the next day. Maybe a waste a bunch of time. Just getting used to teleporting and figuring it out.
Getting better at it, figuring out the tricks so that no one will ever know.
Yeah, you can give it another try next day.
Yeah, I will do so.
I'm not gonna make you roll a bunch of D100s, but
Well, I roll one anyway.
76. You are in fact on target and appear
There
where
we
you
go.
want to.
Yes, like a respectable distance away, and then like I don't know, maybe like a half-hour walk after that to get to where I find the people I'm looking for, and basically just apologize for using sending on them. Genuinely, didn't realize didn't mean to offend. Help them out for a few days, like just doing shit, whatever it is that chores and stuff they need doing, and then sort of start casually asking again once I've sort of if things are mended, make things right, and only if I accomplish that, then sort of ask around about the Kraken, see if people know any lore.
Yeah, the Druids of the Old Woods aren't necessarily one coherent organization. You don't walk into the town of the Druids. But rather they are representatives of their various civilizations and tribes and whatnot. There's philosophers from Mitros mingling with centaurs from the plains, with dryads from the forests and oceans as well, and lakes and rivers and all those. And occasionally they get together to talk about things. It is definitely during those meetings where information is most easily available, although if you don't have a great reason to get all the druids together, those are usually difficult to accomplish, to really get to. Last time Darius had the very good motivative all of them to get together, which was Eudora's fate, Lufaria's intervention in her fate there. This time doesn't have as convincing of a reason, but he can definitely approach the various representatives that might be in their like the main glade and ask them about things. But I would ask for a diplomacy check here. They certainly respect Darius, but not to the point where they'll drop everything and like bring out the secret druidic knowledge if they have such a thing.
Understood. Well, let's see what I can do. I'm just going to decide to be amazingly charismatic today.
All right. What's your result?
Nat 20 with it was persuasion.
Persuasion. It's basically a gathering rumors roll here.
So one more than that, 32.
32. All right. You get all the rumors, I guess. The first impression would be that the druids don't immediately know a lot of the Kraken. It is a creature that they are vaguely aware of, at least having heard of it in stories and such. Although those stories are mostly connected to actually Sidon. It's probably actually one of the previous followers of Lufaria that proves to be most helpful here, as they of course have some information about Sidon too, just by association. They know the Kraken to be an enemy of Sidon, a creature that has also in the past basically said, hey, the ocean, the storms, the lightning, those are mine. And it's a creature that is powerful enough to most likely have been a very, very big problem for Sidon. They've, however, never really directly fought with one another, presumably because, well, they don't really know. They suspect it has something to do with the Kraken not actually being like from Phylea, not actually belonging here. So if it tried to really mess things up, surely Cantimane would intervene because, Phylea would be in danger in that case.
Interesting.
They know
but
that
now
the
that
Kraken...
Cantimane and Sidon are dead.
Yeah, exactly. They also know that the Kraken isn't just a monster. It is, as far as they know, known to be a creature of incredible alien intelligence, capable of some of the most powerful magic, that arcane magic specifically, that Phylea has to offer.
Really? Huh. Well, I mean, that doesn't surprise. I got a scroll of teleport from it, so.
Yeah, and it's supposedly not only careful, but also enjoys collecting and planning for centuries. The tools and ingredients it needs to do that one strike eventually. It was rumored to be doing exactly that against Sidon, but got perhaps a bit stuck since fighting Cantimane. You can't outplan Cantimane.
Interesting. Okay. Good to know. So yeah, it's moving about again now that its enemies are out of the way. Gonna try and take Sidon's domain. All right, cool. I'll just spend the rest of the week with them and just try to ingratiate myself a bit more and head back for a few days. Maybe then spend a couple days there with Axel, and that's me.
All right. Are the rest of you going to take any particular activities of note?
Probably
Find us-
not it until we do something together.
Yeah, I think the only thing on my agenda is find a scribe that's okay with dragons.
Oh, there's plenty of those.
Teach them Draconic, I guess. And like be there with Aravandar, I guess. Buy more books. The usual.
Yeah, the Academy of Mitros has hundreds of students and learned people, many of which can speak Draconic, and all of which would be delighted to work for the Dragonlords.
This will be a long-term employment.
Oh yeah, sure.
Oaths of secrecy and all sorts.
Yeah,
It
suffice to
works,
say,
Eddie.
it's very easy to acquire a scribe like that.
Okay.
You're famous enough.
I at least don't need to worry about an arcane tutor. I have that in Grandmama. Off in the mountain. Does she actually stay at the base, like the building? Or she does her own thing?
It's complicated. She's conveniently always there when something of relative importance happens, but she doesn't seem to actually live like in the tower nearby. You don't actually know that now that you think about it.
Alright. I'm not that invested in knowing, so that's fine.
All right. It is then in Mitros, where Demos is. He's most likely in his usual place where he does all the kinging, as you put it. I assume, like up in the arena, like sparring or training or whatever. That one of the lieutenants of the guard of Mitros sort of enters the central arena carrying basically a pile of papers and looking thoroughly out of his element. As he glances over to Demos doing things, and then sort of pauses, not entirely sure whether he should interrupt or not. He seems entirely like not sure about things in general at this very moment. Demos notices this. He also notices like Xerxia first looking to him and then looking over to the lieutenant. Does Demos interrupt his activities, or it does seem as if Xerxia would otherwise intervene and handle this?
I mean, he's usually in the middle of if she seems like she wants to handle it, his instinct would be to go and take care of it. But if she wants to, he would be up for just letting her have that chance. Otherwise, he would just put down what he's doing, pat the person he's sparring with on the shoulder, and say, better luck next time. And then,
Yeah, in general, in these affairs, Xerxia is quite eager to take over some of the administrative load.
oh, sure, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, Demos will then basically see her slowly rise from her position as she approaches the lieutenant in his like resplendent bronze armor with the the plume on his helmet signifying his rank. Who at first doesn't seem entirely sure whether he should be talking to the dragon, but then again, it's the king's dragon, so who is he to do anything here? The two are exchanging words. Xerxia is being shown some papers. And it doesn't take long before Xerxia basically grabs the entire stack of papers, like in between two digits of her claw, before bringing them towards Demos. Well, draconic expressions are, of course, difficult. Demos knows her well enough. She looks very annoyed.
Well, seems like Demon's going to have to do a thing, which is fine. He's got time. This whole king thing is really going much easier than he thought. Things basically run themselves. So, yeah.
To the below the line workers, just they're like so stressed out and like, oh god, it's all
We'll
falling apart.
go and see what's up.
Xerxia approaches Demos and says, "You've just been delivered an itemized list of costs required to rebuild the navy of Mitros. Apparently delivered by, I've already forgotten her name, some woman who has decided to associate with the local shipwrights and carpenters, and they've made a plan of what you need to pay them to get new ships."
I thought Darius was working on the fleet.
Xerxia shrugs. That may be so, but I don't believe that Darius has the funds nor the citywide authority to really spearhead this project. Or at least these people believe so.
All right. Who is this woman?
I actually need to look up her name myself.
Do I know of her? Is she new?
Xerxia says, she is a woman who goes by the name of Idilla Acastus. Apparently, she has announced herself to be the representative of the United Shipwrights of Mitros. Suffice to say that what she has delivered here is not a sensible bill of materials, but rather an insult bordering on a declaration of war. She is asking for an amount of gold that would have made a mother blush.
What are we talking here? How much?
She is asking for 800,000 gold pieces for labor costs alone, another 900,000 for logging activities, and those are apparently not even all the things you need to build a boat. Suffice to say that I'm very much aware of the monetary resource that Mitros has available, and this will not be paid in ever. This is ridiculous.
It's just pure so. Let's go talk to her.
Do you think that is wise?
What would the alternative be?
This seems to intentionally want to create outrage. If you are doing as she wants you to, I don't believe that would end well. I think we should entirely ignore her offer here and just not even pay attention to this ridiculousness.
Chances I just want to go talk to her and see what her thoughts are on all this. She wants my attention. I'll go see what she's up to. I mean, what can she really do?
Demos, are you sure you want to engage in this politicking? She's dragging you onto a battlefield that you have no experience in.
There isn't going to be a battlefield. I mean, I could take her, I'm sure. What is she, like 100 years old?
Perhaps your naive approach to things is actually beneficial in this case. Who knows? I suppose we should talk to her, shouldn't we?
Yeah. So where's you, guard? Where bring me to. Tell me where I need to go. to find
Alright.
things. I'll go there right
Uh,
now.
The lieutenant basically like gives a rather helpless shrug as Xerxes says, "There's an address on this bill. We should go there."
Oh yeah, we'll fly there right now. Let's go. Get this thing sorted out. We'll be back here by evening.
The address is down near the docks, where the various shipwrights and such are. It's over here.
Oh.
It doesn't technically matter. Oh yeah, sorry, it's here, where the boats are.
Yeah.
Who knew?
We'll go there.
It's quite a bustling area of Mitros. Of course, the aftermath of having a lot of ships destroyed is quite valuable for this kind of industry.
Mm.
And the address basically leads the two of you to one of the largest and most luxurious-looking buildings in this district. Looks to be a converted like warehouse that is now some sort of headquarters of a quite wealthy merchant family, or like a carpentry family, I guess, shipwright family.
All right. Demas frowns. He thought he got rid of all these families, but all right.
It's going to take more than that to get rid of the families themselves.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah, I mean, time to go and knock on the door, right?
Yeah. The people, of course, around here are like doing a double take. Seeing the king basically arrive here himself is unusual.
Yeah, mostly he's mobbed by people when he walks around the streets. So when he wants to get anywhere, it's a dragon back.
Did I have a token for her? I did. 1 second. I just didn't prepare it because I'm unprepared.
Basically ask like someone like, "Sir, lady, I cast this in here somewhere."
It will not take long to get a response. It's basically some workers who've been carrying like planks of wood who immediately drop what they're doing to fetch her. Use this token. Let me get the picture across at least.
Sure.
She's flanked by a pair of servants, scribes, perhaps both, wearing rather fine like silken robes and all that. Definitely like noble level of appearance. With a confident gait, despite Xerxes looking pissed still. She does a medium-sized bow in front of King Demos here, as she says,
Demas goes in for the like he moves in, spreads his arms out, and goes in for like the hug.
she will endure the gesture, but not return.
Hearty pat on the back. Adela Castus, I can't believe we haven't really met. I mean, it's been how long, right? Been in this city. Maybe we have when I was younger. Whatever. How are things for you this fair day?
She smiles and she says, "Why, King Demos visiting me personally, and I'm quite at a loss for words. Thank you for your inquiries. I've been doing rather well. You see,"
Here.
she nods, "after you've declined my offer to assist in the administration of Mitros, I figured there would be other places that could use my talents."
A good thought.
Now, what is it exactly that brings you here, my lord? Surely you're not just walking around greeting everyone and, well, inquiring about their well-doing.
Time to time, but you sent me a still takes out the reaches for search. He takes out like the bill list. This document demanding requesting some funds for the ships.
She nods. Why, yes, the project to recreate the navy of Metros is, well, quite frankly, it hasn't started yet. There are still issues to be resolved, unfortunately, most of which simply require more funds, and then they would be solved. Of course, since it is a project for the city of Metros, the source for said funds is obvious.
Yeah, he must nods. Yeah, I mean, looking at these numbers, though, I think we'll have to increase taxes. Honestly, the city's finances are doing well enough, but for something like this, everyone would have to pitch in. Of course, those who have more would pitch in more.
She
Myself.
nods. A wise decision, my king. It is imperative that the Metrosian might on the waters is where it was before the incidents.
Better, even.
Better, yes.
Maybe we'd have to get something to deal with the Kraken. You aware? Familiar?
I try to not think about all the horrors out there. That is, I believe, something for chosen heroes to deal with.
Ah, well. Yes, we shall have to request some more prophecies soon enough. No, I just that looks at list. This is it's quite extensive. How possible do you think it is to create what we would need, but perhaps reduce the cost on the people? I think a lot of people would be very unhappy with these amounts of taxes we would have to ask them to pay.
Well, you see that it's going to be difficult. After recent reforms regarding the city's workforce, labor has become expensive. In addition to that, the amount of wood required to build new ships is enormous, and there have been certain incidents with local inhabitants of said woods that require an extensive amount of guards and mercenaries to be hired. It all just adds up, I'm afraid.
Ah, yes. Well, that all seems to be problems, I suppose. That said, let's not. I haven't. What woods do we have problems with accessing? There should be plenty of wood out there. I mean, I've seen a lot of trees.
Yes, there are
Sure, we can find
creatures.
a place to get wood. I mean, that's not really particularly difficult.
There are creatures out there that are particularly fond of living trees rather than their weight in lumber.
Ah, we'll figure that out easily enough, so we can cross that off. Then the whole thing about paying workers, I mean, I suppose that makes sense. We'll take our time with it. I'm sure it'll work out. We're not in an extreme hurry right here. I mean, who do we expect to challenge us on the seas right now?
Exactly. What need does Mitros have for these ships, anyways? We could just not build any. It would be, of course, a large hit to our bottom line here, but you are the king. It is your decision.
We'll build ships, but let's focus on getting some up and working, getting our people here to stay busy rather than invest a whole lot of new ones right now. That seems good. Yeah.
Understanding then that the king is ordering us to make do with what we have and see what comes from that.
Oh no decisions have been made yet. I'll speak to my people, see what we can scrounge up. A lot of people here have money to spare, and after all, getting people working is good for everyone.
Well,
mean,
either way, I
after all-
eagerly await your decision or your
Not
payments.
Intimane, personally, for everyone here. I'm sure a lot of people are eager to pitch in.
I'm sure of it.
Yeah, me too. You know what? You should come around more often. Can I maybe where are you staying these days anyway?
I find it rather inappropriate that you would ask me my personal address.
I'll get it for someone else anyway. If that's a problem, I just, I like to be direct. It's just so much easier. We all want the same thing, right? Just peace in our time.
I, for one, want a strong Metros.
Compared to who? There's no one to challenge us. Sidon's gone. His fleet was destroyed. Eresia? Haven't heard from them in many years. Yes, we'll be strong, of course. Of course we need to be strong.
I would think that peacetime is really the only time where you can build your strength to be ready for the next challenge.
He must not. Yes, that's absolutely true.
Then we do, in fact, want the same thing for the city.
I'm glad to have someone like you working for it. Yes, we shall have a proud Meta. Something that would make my father proud. How about that for a line?
Yes. The legendary Pythor, that certainly sets the expectations very high.
Just besides, we are now out of a statue. We're gonna have to have something to replace it. I'll see what we can do about scrounging up some funds. Can't promise all of this, of course. I'll see what's possible given what's around, but we'll see what we can do. Yeah. I can count on you then to handle the sort of on-ground situation, make sure these ships get built and that they're effective and up to everything.
Make sure these ships get built as soon as the funds arrive.
Sure. Seems fine. Good. Then yeah. Guess we'll get back on Search's back and go to the palace. It seems like he has some auditing to do. Yeah, he has scholars and such from the university. They're the people he usually show up to, sort of whenever he needs someone to do something epic. They're smart. He figures. And basically, he needs someone to double check the numbers, right? Do some math. These people are rich people. He knows that they're tempted at all times to see if they can scrounge up money for themselves. Beyond that, he wants someone to audit and check out how much people could he actually get out of the people of Metros without anyone suffering, losing more than they can add.
Okay. So Demos requests the scholars of Metros to calculate an objectively fair tax rate.
Well, no. First and foremost, how does this bill actually is this
D&D.
Are these numbers real? Is this what it actually costs? Or are some of these things very inflated or twisted around or manipulated or something?
Well, if Demos asks one of the philosophers, one of the scholars from the academy, and those that work for him in the palace, this is sort of beyond them, because the value of human work, or I don't want to emphasize human, I mean to emphasize work, is not something that is set. Economics isn't exactly something they care about. Why care about economics when there are, equations to learn? That is something for merchants and the like. That's not what they do. Xerxia definitely assures Demos that these prices are ridiculous and intentionally inflated to the point where Metros would never be able to afford this in 30 years.
Okay, could she make something better?
She could change the money to be more where she thinks it should be, but that might be the opposite. As Demos has said, she will say, everyone should be pitching in for this, but she suspects that telling people to just give away their possessions might be difficult.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it's true. But
She grumbles a bit and says, I live for a very long time. Anything that happens to anything I care about will be remembered for a long time. You, well, not you, I suppose, but humans and even whatever other folk live in Mitros, their memories are short. They now cheer for their king who has defeated Kentimane, but wait another 5 years and that will be forgotten in its entirety, and they will simply be upset that we raise taxes on them, which you shouldn't have to do in the first place. This is. She's playing you. She's upset. She wants to rule, I can understand that. And because you told her she can't, she now makes your life more difficult.
so, what are you suggesting we do? I mean, I decommissioned the Isle of the Exiles.
She nods. You did. I would suggest we do absolutely nothing. We acknowledge her cost and refuse to pay it. And then, if Mitros is attacked without any way to defend itself, we can properly put the blame on her. Plus, if Mitros cannot defend itself, I hate to say it, but we would take a book out of Acastus's playbook, King Acastus that is, and personally save it from whatever invader without the help of the navy, which would further cement your rule.
I'm just gonna tell Darius to get it done, right? He could manage the ship thing.
Sexia pauses and then says, I think that's a better solution. You're right. He can do things. I've seen him do strange things. I'm sure he can.
Exactly. He tells the future and knows most things that happen before they do. Yeah, he was gonna try to call Darius, right? He has a sending stone.
I don't think I have the other one, but I'll be back soon anyway.
Okay. When you get back, then
I use it your brand new teleportation room that you
yeah,
had
yeah,
made for me.
yeah. There'll be a guard says,
You see the flash coming out of there. They,
Master
pull the
Lord
curtain.
Darius. Yeah, Lord Darius. You're requested in the we're meeting with His Royal Highness immediately.
Very well. I suppose you've been waiting for my arrival? Question mark.
Yes.
You're dismissed. Please give my most sincere compliments to whoever designed and decorated this hall. It's quite lovely. It's a very nice place to return to.
There's like a guy with a hot towel and like a drink.
Ah, I could get used to this.
Mm.
Oh, and
Oh,
then I
the
drink
drink is-
away.
I'd imagine with Demos being in charge, the drink is basically like a margarita or something.
Yeah.
There's a Margaritaville just on the counter.
Bunny slippers and then like a drink.
Mm.
There you go. And now you're ready for Pal's life.
Yeah, there we go.
Um,
Make my way over to stop by the Dragon Spa first and then check on Dareth Axel and then then go to the throne room where I've been summoned.
yeah, no, you'll be summoned to a different room, a room full
Oh.
of books and ledgers and stuff. Whatever Demos thought might be relevant to someone doing an economic audit of shipbuilding and organizing the thing, has been put in here. Right? As Demos be like, Darius, you're back. I'm sure you already know what I'm going to ask you. So thank you for this service, and give Lady Acastus my regards.
Raises an eyebrow. I do have to focus in on what it is I'm trying to foretell, Demos. I am not
yeah.
Versi.
Let me just summarize, and then he'll tell him basically the conversation and what happened with Attila.
Well,
And so I decided the best person for this job would be you, Darius. I can always trust you with these matters, and books and such, that stuff. And I figured if anyone could have Adila working, and she does seem motivated to militaristic sort of warfare and whatnot, you could probably manage to control those expectations and move things in a positive direction for us, so that I don't have to think about it too much anymore. So you tell me what you need, and she will report to you, and then I'll see about getting you whatever you need. Right?
Darius like scratches the back of his head and is
There's
like,
some books over there, and some other ones over there, and the other ones with the numbers. I just put in the middle on the table. So,
well, Your Majesty, I'm sure as you may remember, I don't exactly have the greatest patience with politics, but if this is something that you truly want done, I would give it my full effort. However, perhaps, as you say, I can provide a different service to you. Could I, Sheep, have Juniper go fly over wherever the woman is, and then use clairvoyance and try and listen if she has some sort of like conversation going on, and see if she's talking about what she's up to or what her end game is, or get some sort of insight when she thinks no one's looking.
You want to spy on her and conveniently hear her exact plan.
Yeah, her master plan.
You can try if I can spell clairvoyance. There we go.
It's more up Darius's alley than accounting.
Well, clairvoyance has a range of 1 mile, so you could even do that from here, basically. But I
Yeah.
guess you need.
Don't even have to put down my margarita.
Yeah. I guess you need Juniper there because you need a familiar location.
Yeah, I need to be able to see it, right? So I just
Yeah.
send her, look through her eyes, then use clairvoyance, or just
Sure.
spy as Juniper.
Sure, you can do that. Give me a stealth check from Juniper then.
Well, let's see what my things are for today. Oh no, this is the same day that what did I have from earlier?
Get an 8.
No.
Left.
Yeah. This is important. I'm gonna see if I can make this happen. No. Actually, I can do it twice per day. Let's try again. Sorry, that last one is not
How
legitimate.
often can you do
No,
this?
no, that last one I double clicked by accident. So I can do it twice per short rest now. None of those are particularly great, so I'm just gonna roll for real. I'll cast guidance on Juniper, and then we'll do a legitimate perception check.
I need a stealth check from.
Oh, sorry, yes, stealth check. 22.
Okay.
God, my rolls today are not great.
20 was pretty good. Demas couldn't stealth that much.
And she is an owl flying around, so.
Yeah, Juniper can make her way to the large warehouse. Plenty of windows for her to peek into.
This could be, if you prefer, Sheep, a downtime project. Once I know what I'm looking for, I can just clairvoyance at any time. I don't know if that's maybe more reasonable.
It would be more reasonable, except for the fact that, once Juniper has done her initial scouting and Darius casts clairvoyance, he will realize that the area is warded.
Ah. Interesting. Well, that's to be expected, I suppose. And it's a warehouse, you say?
Yeah, it's like a converted warehouse, basically, a warehouse into some sort of, merchant headquarters.
Is it just warded from scrying, or could Juniper try to fly in a window or something?
Juniper could try, but chances are that hiding inside is going to be difficult. It's not like one huge open space like a warehouse usually is. It is divided like into hallways and chambers and like multi-story.
Can I
It would
change
be
her into
very
like
difficult.
a tardigrade or something?
A tardigrade. Get like a plus 700 size bonus.
Let's see. I'm going to pull up Find Familiar. I imagine not. I imagine that's not a thing I can do. Bat, cat, crab. Let's change her into a rat. Rat in a warehouse isn't that suspicious.
It's a warehouse from the outside. The inside is actually fairly fine, fine furniture and such. It's like
Okay.
the administrative head of the shipwrights, and not
Oh,
an
gotcha.
actual warehouse or like floor where they actually do work.
All right.
It's basically an office building.
Okay. Yeah. Harder to get away with. But a rat could still be fairly stealthy, I think. Or maybe like a lizard so you can climb on the walls. Or no, a spider. There we go. I gotta think of a pun for her new name. But yeah, let's give her a spider and let her be spider climb. She can like climb on walls and stuff and on the ceiling. Stealth around. Does that break find familiar focus for the wards, or would I still be able to see through that?
It would likely still work.
Cool. Then yeah.
Doesn't specifically prevent that.
Then Juniper Man or Spider Juniper will Spider will scuttle
Sorry,
around.
for find familiar though, you need to be within 100 feet.
Okay, well I can go invisible and hang out outside.
Right. Yeah, then like continuous observation would be more of a long-term project.
Okay. I could give it an authentic try, but Darius is not an accountant. I think probably the better service I could provide would be to find out what she's up to.
Hey, whatever you need to do.
All right.
It's on your plate,
Sure.
man. As Steamos walks
Okay.
out of the room. Thank you for handling this whole thing.
Yeah, it's just like takes a look at the accounting. It's like, no.
You know, ask whoever you want to help you, or get this lady to, or whatever. Doesn't
Yeah.
even.
There's reading what someone might be up to and deductive reasoning, or there's just straight up spying. And I'll just go for the latter.
Even if you knew, it's like, whatever. Darius is a good guy, right? So that automatically makes that
Sure.
okay.
Also tell Demos about what he learned about the Kraken. He got a lot of plates spinning right now.
Here's the worst case scenario.
Mhm.
In the worst case, Demas asks for an oath of service from her, right? So, then she gets to, so he's sure he can trust her.
Yeah, I'll spend like a day on it. Just have Juniper tail her and listen in.
Sure, for a day. We'll resolve that in a moment. Are Arid and Artemisia up to anything worth talking about, so I don't leave you outside the activity zone, the spotlight?
No, I don't have anything planned. Just
All right.
Aravandar. That's it, really.
And Darius, give me a perception check for Juniper.
Perception with advantage. Natural 20.
In that 20, Juniper observes nothing unusual.
All right. Screw it. I'll spend how many days until we're good and we're gonna go to the Trickster?
Although within that 20,
Yeah. Can she like dig around office drawers and like?
Let me expand a bit.
Yeah.
Juniper doesn't observe any obvious evil plans headed by this woman.
Mm-hmm.
But there is the occasional sign that seems to hint at her being aware that she is being spied on.
Interesting. Can Juniper try to like root around in the desk and stuff like that? Try to see like the papers that you don't want seen, like the real ledger. Should one exist?
That sounds
Uh,
incriminating.
Well, with a net 20, I'll still allow that. Juniper does root around. Juniper itself isn't really, or herself isn't really smart enough to understand what's important or not.
Mhm.
But the end result is basically, if there's anything incriminating, it's not going to be here. This seems so clean as suspicious.
Yeah. So where's the real spot? Okay, cool. Then I'll just disappear Juniper into the other dimension and walk away before, and like disguised or invisible or any of the resources that Darius has available. I mean, fuck. I guess I'll try the accounting thing. How does one do accounting in D&D?
Probably be just an intelligent investigation. Let's make an investigation.
Investigation check. Okay. None of my trance stuff was
Though,
particularly good.
what's the question you're trying to answer here?
How much inflation is there? Like, basically, he's trying to identify. Let's simplify it and just say overall, like, what percentage could this be shrunk down by and still be meeting the needs? Like paying people a reasonably good wage, the actual rates, cutting, like, where are the, middlemen, like, these things go through like 3 different suppliers, each one of them being up cost, but it could just be like a direct route instead. Like, where can the savings be had? Where is like the cooking the books to try to like get more money for the nobility, that kind of stuff. Like, what would the end result be for, like, what the actual bill is? 60% of what she claims it is basically what I'm fishing for overall. Or only 20% of this would be needed, or nope, this is legit. That kind of thing.
Right, give me an investigation.
Okay. Oh my god.
That's another net 20. All right.
I take it back about my dice being bad today.
Just keep this
Yeah.
Java seed forever.
My dice are also bad. Hey, so bad.
Like
Guys,
3
bad.
nat 20s.
Hey, if it works.
27 total.
Uh, 27. Yeah, looking at the bill, it's definitely incredibly inflated. Not just like a few percent, but like 200, 400%. It's
Jesus.
ridiculous. This is not a price that anyone should ever pay. The main areas that she seems to be using to attack is, first of all, the cost of work, now that slave labor really isn't a thing anymore, which is expensive to the point of basically building herself an argument to perhaps argue for how bad of a decision that was economically. Like, look at how much it costs now. This is ridiculous. Like, using her own pricing
Gotcha.
to argue with. The other big area that she's basically extorting with might have more merit to it, though, or might more truth to it. Building a whole bunch of ships is going to take a whole lot of wood. And on Philea, there are quite a number of sentient creatures who consider the forests borderline sacred. It's usually not a problem to get enough wood for your average day in Mitros. But if you want to build like a few dozen warships, that's gonna decimate quite a lot. Her solution to that, which Darius thinks is very much intentional, is to get a ridiculous number of guards and mercenaries to basically just take the lumber by force, which I think I'll give that to you because you've been in touch with the druids, will most likely spark hostilities on that front. And that is most likely very, very intentional. If Demos decides to pay all this, it'll still be a bad decision.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no win. No win scenario by engaging with this.
It's not exactly, as far as Darius thinks, this is not exactly a bulletproof plan to paint Demos in a bad light. It's more of a petty attack that, if she can spin it the right way, would paint Demos in a bad
Yeah,
light.
it's an insult because it's bait and it only works if Demos takes it, but then it really
Yeah.
works. Yeah. I'll go find Demos and explain. I'm like, so I didn't do what you said, and I went and spied on her, and yeah, it just seems incredibly suspicious. But then I did the thing you asked me to, and he gives like all the pages with like highlighter, like, and it goes through all of the discrepancies and whatnot. Tries to like simplify it down.
Actually terrible at her job then.
Mhm.
All right,
Saka.
Darius. I think,
Now, what you do with that information, I don't know. But if there's another way to get the amount
That's
of
such an advisor thing to do, though.
I trust you, Darius, but I want to make sure that this is right. So I'm going to have this checked over by just about every expert I can get my hands on, with the
good,
highlight.
yeah,
Yeah.
please.
Let everyone see how, well, acknowledge how terrible of a plan this is.
Hmm.
And then maybe find someone else to do it, someone who
It's just show. God, Deimos is good at politicking. Just like showing these notes to everybody.
yeah, just be like, look at this mess she made. Anyway, can you just check this for me? Great merchant, smart merchant. Let's have a look. What do you think of this plan, right? Because then he can sort of judge who is on her side.
Yeah.
If they're like, "Oh, this is a great plan," then you can sort of in the end, though, he sort of says, "Darius, you know people who care about like trees and stuff, right?
Mhm. I
So
did
we need
return.
some trees, and apparently they're not happy with us just taking them. So, what do you think I would need to do to have some trees?"
To be honest, I don't know. The answer's not coming to me right away.
There's a lot of trees, and I feel like, you know,
I feel like if there would be perhaps a way to, I don't know, summon resources or use some sort of renewable. I don't know. It's going through the forest is a bad idea.
grow out of the
That's
ground, right? So,
yeah, it's but over a long period of time. Let me think on this, Demos. I'll come up with something.
good, Darius. I will entrust it to you.
Mm.
Man, this being king thing. You know what? I used to think it was going to be difficult. Anyway, I'll get on sending out these papers to people, and then I'll have another meeting with her. And that's basically what Demas is going to do, right? He's going to sit her down and ask her questions about all the things that Darius pointed out after he's had them shown to different merchants. And then basically just like, say that the meeting is probably going to be her trying to be angry and defend it a little bit until he decides that maybe, you know what, he appreciates what she's trying to do for the city, but a woman of her talents and her experience maybe should consider there's some very nice estates outside of Mitros, maybe retirement. She's been under a lot of stress, and maybe she should retire somewhere upstate.
She will. She listens to Demos's words with a perfect smile, on occasion conceding a point that perhaps some money could be saved in that area. However, she does defend the entire bill pretty adeptly. Demos isn't exactly experienced in that sort of area, so most of the arguments are probably going to go over his head.
Oh yeah.
But suffice to say that she is confident, despite the others' opinions.
Well, she's the thing. Demos doesn't really understand her arguments, and so he doesn't really believe them either.
It's very much an agree to disagree situation.
Oh yeah, but what they probably are not going to disagree about is that he, as King of Mitras, will even provide her. She's used to be like a queen mother sort of thing. So he will even provide her a security detail, a set of guards to make sure she's safe on her upland estate. Who can help take care of her, deliver her messages when she wants them delivered, that sort of thing.
Is this actually a genuine offer by Demos or a veiled threat?
No, I think given how terrible her job was here, he's considering that basically she's to him she's proven herself to be incompetent, right? He doesn't maybe get that this is all about politics, and I think his idea here is to retire her upland, basically find her a small house there where she can grow grapes or something, do what nobles do when they retire, and then her staff will be part of his selected people who can help her with what she needs. And probably also just make sure that she doesn't make trouble for herself,
She'll decline,
Yeah.
basically. But very graciously, saying, "Oh, that is such a generous offer, but she's needed here. Otherwise, she wouldn't be employed by the family, If they didn't think she was doing a great job, they would not be paying her as much as she is getting."
Yeah, I don't know if this is a decline sort of situation.
Ooh.
This is an offer, but there's only the I accept tick box.
Yeah, I don't know. He's like, you know what? She's trying to build a fleet and she's fucking it up. And he's not he doesn't have a lot of patience for that. So it's probably more of a he'll probably say something like, "Oh, he's sure that she will reconsider when she gets to see it, and he will have someone help her move her things and herself out there very soon. So, and he'll come visit. It'll be nice. She can rest herself, have some time to think, and just enjoy these years that she have left. No reason that she should have to do this. She's already done enough. And beyond that, of course, he'll say, his legendary hero Darius is on this. He's personally asked him, and this is on his recommendation that this should be done, and he can see the future. So, that's a pretty good way to go, and he's sure she'll love it. It's pretty close to the Dragonlords' new tower too, so she gets to see the view of the dragons sometimes. That's exciting.
Wait, where are you putting her?
Up in the mountain, on a nice estate, like a noble summer home. It's gonna be nice.
Okay.
I wonder if Mithril would work. You get the mines.
Yeah, and that's hopefully gonna be that. Make sure that the people, her staff, are his people, so that she doesn't send people to assassinate anybody or anything like that. And then, yeah, she gets to live out her life nicely out there, being happy and relaxed. Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't explicitly agree to it, but she basically phrases it in a way: if it's the king's wish that she be escorted to a place outside Mitros, then so be it. She will await her escort and of course not resist.
Sure, he'll arrange for it as soon as possible. So she can go and enjoy her. And it'll be nice, right? couple members of like 2 members of the Royal Guard. He's selected now, probably from people he like knew when he was young, actual friends, and be like, yeah, you get to go out there and stay too, and just take care of her, check her messages, make sure no one comes and stabs her or something.
Zandros.
It'd be nice.
Great indeed.
And then maybe we can have a more realistic person working to help build the fleet. A more loyal person is what that actually means, but he doesn't think that way.
All right. That is how that is resolved then.
Mhm.
She's eventually going to leave the city.
It's like a couple days away.
But on the note of that, Malachi, we do have the mithril mines.
We do.
Maybe they could be used as a substitute for wood. Probably
Well,
be more
yeah,
expensive, but
Be awesome, but I mean, if we can, yeah.
you would get around the labor problem and the deforestation problem.
I mean, I feel like we won't have that much mithril, but
Yeah, it's a problem of quantity, especially if you
Yeah.
wanted to make an entire ship out of mithril.
I could
It would
imagine
be
like
absolutely-
a flagship.
Yeah, it would be absolutely possible to use the mithril mines to equip a flagship of some sort in a particular way, to the point where it might even be able to mimic some of the strengths that the Ultras had. But that would sort of be a different solution to a different problem.
Right.
Like mithril plated ship,
Yeah.
effectively. But yeah, I can't.
Could it be spread out among multiple ships if we? Because Sidon's fleet is still here, right? Not all of the ships got destroyed, and even the ones that did, we could try and scavenge materials.
Can't build a ship from broken wood.
No.
Let's just gonna talk to these like druids and say, hey, could I have some trees? You have a lot of them, and I need some to build a fleet because my last one got broken, saving the continent from auto destruction. So,
Yeah,
you know,
that's fair.
just make ready to do that again, please.
But I think even coming up with other solutions to reduce the demand or reduce the amount that you need, like shows them that like, I'm not, I need this, but I'm also not taking it for granted, or just gonna,
Things if he just asks nicely, they probably will. I mean, if they're good people, right? They'll just be like, yeah, we can figure something out.
Mhm.
You can send a request like that. We'll handle that in a bit.
Mhm.
Contacting like the druids in quotation marks is more difficult than just sending a letter assigned, written to a druid. Especially since the various forests have different forces acting in them.
Oh, we find some druids that disagree with some other druids. And then we can help them and take the trees of the other ones.
If you talk to the Druid Order of the Wildfire, then you'll get a lot of support to just cut those forests down a size, because that's nature too sometimes.
Even it's just, do they have a particular part of the forest that they want him to cut down? I mean, he just needs trees that nobody gets mad that he chops a bunch of, right? Because sadly, I can see the land outside of Mitros is devoid of trees for the most part, probably for obvious reasons.
So you can thank Xerxia for that.
I mean, Xerxia just raised it. The area between Astoria and Mitros is fairly well forested. There were people who tried to change that at some point, but really you should credit her for keeping a lot of that forest alive.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. Like, just send out some people, find me some trees that are not protected by like fairy creatures or something. And there's the temple that used to be a temple of Lutheria, right? We went there. We killed a bunch of Maenads. That sucked.
Oh, you mean the one? Yeah, the like
Yeah,
had
I
that
feel like they owe.
grove thing that gave druids a long rest and a short rest.
I feel like they owe something back to society.
We just take it from. They're coming around though.
Mm,
They are realizing the error of their ways.
yeah, now that the area is dead.
It would be ironic to deforest the area around the temple of a dryad who went mad because her tree got chopped down.
Yeah.
There's irony to that. Yeah, sure.
I just feel like not a lot of people are going to stand up for people who eat kids, right? And yeah, maybe you don't do it anymore, but
Were those druids though? I thought they were just humans who like moved out there.
you're
Or
part
were
of it.
they part? They were part of it. Huh. Oh yeah. Well, they can. Whatever.
So find me the people that nobody likes. We can take their trees.
Take Aresia's trees.
There we go.
Well,
I
a
can
long
take you
way
to
away.
them.
Grecia is very far away to take trees from.
I also hear they're pretty protective over their land.
Of their trees, really?
Of
Man,
the land, man. You know,
they didn't do anything to help us
it's
defend them.
their shit.
Well, they should have helped defend Kentamane then.
I mean, did Mitros ever ask for their help?
How would we?
I'd say under Castus, absolutely not.
Did Mitros ever say, "Hey, Aresia, this thing's happening"?
I mean,
know?
I don't know if they're from there, but did they banish you and such?
Yeah, but
But-
reasonable expectations, King, should be considered.
Oh, sure. I really don't care much about Aricia. It's so far away, and I presume they're doing their own thing.
Yeah, typically. They do their own thing. Prepare for a war that may or may not start. That they may or may not start.
Well, if they do, that'll give us access to the trees.
True. But I think the last Mitrosian Aresian war didn't end well for either side.
Probably
or the
not.
one before that. Or the one before that.
Seems sort of pointless. Really.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've talked enough about trees and economics.
Yeah.
Well, that isn't going to require a solution right now. Perhaps as some time passes, more relevant things may happen in that regard.
We're looking for them, chop down some trees in places that are not problematic for now, right? We just need to get the work started.
All right. Would then just be time passing. So if you wanted to head out, for example, a few weeks or a week or two could have passed since your arrival, dragons once again eager to fly out. Would probably be Darafaxo who suggests to Darius to properly train these other young dragons in the ways of long distance flight. She of course knows how to do it, but you know, these days she's lacking the muscle memory and muscles for it to work properly.
Sure. Yeah, we can do some flight training on the way, I guess. Got the time.
Wouldn't be on the way, it would be a grueling multi-year affair where she, as the tyrant she rarely gets to be, can be the drill instructor. That would be enjoyable, she thinks.
Oh, there we go.
For her.
Yeah. Well, not for the coppers and Icarus if we ever see him again, because they haven't joined the order. But for the other three, sure.
That depends on if there's Exiles being a good teacher.
She is, but she's got to get her aggression out somewhere. I got to find like
Yeah, nope, not on my
the
turn.
odd like
No,
yeah. I gotta find cultists or like just pure evil to let her get the real aggression out. But little siphoning the tap every once in a while, just a little bit. It extends that period of time between. Wasn't really a problem during the Oath of Peace, but
ironically.
yeah, well, that was hardly peace.
So,
Never more.
are we moving or
Sure.
to the island of the Trickster? Was that?
That's what we haven't
Mhm.
visited before.
Let's go to the Trickster.
Island of the Trickster on Dragonback.
We could discover anything about scary monsters.
Mhm. I'll share with the group what I learned about the Kraken from the old wood druids.
What would so all these times? What is like the others doing? So there's Artemisia and there's Ariad. While in Mitros here, like, do you stay in Mitros or do you leave to go somewhere else?
During this week, Artemisia stays because Aravandar needs the rest. So he stays in Mitros, buys books, hires scribes, vibes, avoids crowds. Yeah, chilling in Mitros for the week while Aravandar recovers.
Yeah, Ariad wouldn't travel without Argun much. Argun is, I mean, she would never say bedridden. That's not how it is. But she needs some rest, and Ariad will try and procure some new books for Argun, and they'll, study. She's picked up some crafting, like smaller crafts herself that she'll do while, sitting beside Argun studying, sort of just humming to herself, Definitely sometimes looking out, maybe going to the ocean looking out. She wants to travel. She doesn't like staying. But she wants to travel with Argan, and she needs some rest.
Sure. All right. Argan's not tired. It's just a very boring place, and so they will stay in bed.
Well, I mean, yeah. There's some stuff that Argan immediately has to do for this week in Mitros, so it's-
Well, they, you're all invited to go, of course. We can go together, explore.
no, yeah, I mean, we're going to the after the week of rest or 2 weeks or whatever long it takes. I is certainly keen on going.
Yeah, let's go to the island of the Trickster. Or the constellation of the Trickster.
Constellation of the Trickster. You can do that. It's, of course, the usual 3-day travel, as distances are weird. But it's more pleasant than the trip to the island of the Exile, as you don't even have to go into the Forgotten Sea. Give me a d20 as you travel.
Sure.
16. Give me another d20. All right. 1 second. Oh, sorry, give me a D100, not a D20.
I'm really sorry to have to do this, guys, but something very important has just come up. I'm gonna have to go. Maybe Darius is just copying over Chandris's spellbook for the rest of the session.
Understood.
Okay.
Take care,
you're right.
Seraph.
Hope you're alright.
Yeah, take care.
Yeah, everything should be okay. I just have to go.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, have a good rest of the time. I'll catch the recording later.
Take care, man.
Bye. Bye.
See ya. Life happens sometimes. All right. Your travel is largely uninterrupted. I don't know why I said largely, because it's entirely uninterrupted.
Yeah, it's just a seagull pesters us for our snacks.
My nuts, damn it.
Get
No.
away!
Yeah.
This is my chips. Get off.
Yeah, the weather on occasion turns a bit sour, a light rain, a bit of wind. Although the magic of the bardic instrument that Darius is expertly using is keeping most of the bad stuff at bay. Eventually, you arrive at what is probably your destination. It is a rather oddly shaped island, a curved island wrapping around a wide blue lagoon. In the middle, there's a bit of a small and craggy mountain, although from Dragonback it basically looks like a slight hill at most. It's not that high. That marks the island's highest point. And despite how calm the lagoon seems, you can see the masts and wreckages of a number of abandoned ships that seem to have somehow crashed into the shore or dragged there, or however. Most look fairly intact, in fact. Others look like they've been there for a while and sort of broken apart over time and rotted. You don't see any signs of civilization. There's no built harbors or constructions of any kind, really. Only a bunch of different ships crashed upon the shores of the island. Give me a perception check.
Will do.
Ooh,
Nice.
I need to make one for Aravandar, because he's got actually a decent. We said that skills were their race, right? Like their actual color. Like Aravandar
Yes.
has arcane and stuff, yeah. So he has just slightly more perception. Only +8 instead of +7. Doesn't matter, he rolled terribly, but yeah, 23 is deep.
It's Circia.
Oh, Dexia, smart girl.
You're 7. So less good. than-
Yeah, Argan does better than Ariette.
Yeah, I think all I've got is +3, so that's a nat 20 from me actually, but I have advantage, so yeah.
Yeah, it's Zaxia and Artemisia then, who both, I think, hear a faint roar of some sort, and then in the distance can see a flying creature disappear behind the little mountain peak. That is basically the only terrain on this island that actually has something going on it. The rest that is craggy rocks. Quickly disappears out of view, in fact. Apparently, fleeing into some cave, perhaps.
What was this?
A shape of some sort of flying creature.
Alright, let's go after it.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
That's cool.
You chase after it. And after just minutes, really, you approach the island proper, do a bit of a circle, a bit of a flyby of the little mountain. You can make out a cave. Landing at the cave's mouth. It's not very large, but there are certainly things in that cave, the flying creature included. It looks like a creature's lair. There's a big old nest made from discarded wooden beams, likely from the ships, sort of in a circular shape, in which a lot of glimmering of gold and various valuables can be seen. In front of said pile of valuables, a angry creature who is most definitely not exactly confident in its ability to defend its hoard here. It is a three-headed monstrosity. It's a chimera. It's got three heads: a lion head roaring at you, a dragon head sort of glancing back towards its hoard of gold that it has behind it, and a gold head, a goat's head, ferociously like baaing at you to go away. Although the posture of this creature suggests that it's not a challenge. It just wants you to leave.
Is this the beast that's been attacking ships?
For your average sailor, this thing would be terrifying.
It would be, yeah. I mean, a chimera to like, I don't know, even like a level 1 or 2 adventure is like horrifically scary, right? So I could imagine this being inflated quite easily. Is there nothing else on the island but this cave, this chimera?
As far as you could tell from the air, there really isn't that much, no.
I think we wasted the trip, y'all.
I don't know. What are all these ships? Let's go check them out. I mean, how would they all end up here? What happened to the people?
I think they all came here and then got chimeraed. I think that's what I'm getting, right?
You could give me a history check.
You know, Ireland's oddly good at history checks. Right.
History. Oh, good roll.
I've just got a flat d20. I think he knows nothing about history. Randuar's been hitting the books.
Yeah, he's probably read about like the workings of the oceans and such, because that's generally weird. Like distances and locations, they sort of shift. But as far as he is aware, this is a location that, no matter how the sea looks at a particular day, tends to be in a pretty convenient spot. As in any ship that wants to go anywhere of relevance, like Evrisia or some of the other towns and cities on the shores here, they tend to take a bit of a detour around this island just naturally because of how the Cerulean Gulf shapes itself. It's basically the equivalent to a crossroads, and as far as he can tell, that Chimera just made use of that.
Oh, okay. So would shipping in general benefit from the lack of a chimera attacking ships? Yeah.
Most definitely, yes.
I say we go exterminate it.
Pretty much, it's a bad, mean creature that eats people.
Yeah, let's just.
Yeah, I think Ariad would also be like, yeah, like
If it just attacks people that just get near the island, let's just wipe it off the face of the earth.
Time to hunt.
So, is a chimera even a challenge for us? Though?
No, it's CR6. Like,
Oh, okay, jeez.
any singular one of you, including any of the dragons, could dispatch this thing without breaking a sweat, basically.
All right, we
It's
do.
dead.
Take money.
Oh yeah.
You can basically say you do, and it's gone.
This is what it's like
I
coming back to
sold up
lower
my
level.
6B. Oh, it's dead. Oh, oh no. Oh no, it's just a spot on the wall. Oh.
You dispatch the evil monster, one that is, it's been a terror among sailors for a while, but now no longer. And it had a bit of a miniature dragon sword. It's a bit embarrassing, borderline Xerxia things, but it's something. Uh,
Oh, that's a thing I need to do. I need to take all of my gold and make a hoard for Aravander. That's what I need. There you go.
in total, there is 11,000 copper pieces,
Mhm.
7,600 silver pieces,
Mhm.
2,300 gold pieces, 25 gems worth 100 gold each.
What are we talking?
I'm just gonna post this in the chat. It's the Chimera's Horde that would have been very exciting a few levels ago.
Yeah. Probably 7. Yeah, I mean that's a decent stash.
Put it in the pool, yeah.
What I'm seeing is
Yeah.
5,000 gold pieces could be a decent stash for Aravander. It's like first hoard.
Ariad would suggest that some of the money can be, maybe we can make like a small, like shelters here, like make it into, a safe haven for people who want to travel.
I would
And
like a little
you know,
port.
yeah, build cabin, like not necessarily, like I'm not saying like, oh, we need to establish like a big hub where there's, merchants and stuff. No, like if you go hiking and there's these like serve self huts
Yeah.
basically where like you can, go in.
I actually kind of like the
Like-
idea of like making like a tavern here or like an inn or something.
Well,
That'd
if
be kind
someone
of cool.
wants to, like,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, like there should be like, it was known as like a place of terror. Let's make it into a place that it's like, oh yes, we made it to the the old Trickster constellation. Now
Yeah, I
we
like
can
it.
have a rest.
Well, the Trickster's also Kira's
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
symbol, so
Oh, now I really want to build like an inn called the Trickster or something.
don't know if any ships actually come past here, but if
Well,
they
it's
do,
like the crossroads, right? We're like making it safe for people to
I
Yeah,
mean-
actually come here.
ships traveling from Mitros to Arisia and the other way around would naturally go past here.
Yeah.
Or would in the past, but they are actively avoiding it.
Oh yeah,
Which is
let's
where
do it.
like we can start by setting up like places. I think even if we don't, like, we can also try and fund like an inn here. But even if we don't, if there's a need for it here and a lot of people are going back to traveling here, they'll probably come an inn there.
I like it. I'm
Yeah.
down to fund this. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll get an inn going.
I mean, using some of the money from the Chimera's hoard that was hoarded from the sailors. I mean, that's almost
That's-
poetic. I think
It's good capital, I think. Yeah. Like, we could do that, sheep, can't we? Build an inn.
You absolutely can.
The Kira.
I have already written it on Ariad's list.
then we'll let Area take care of it.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, Ariad and Artemisia
We'll do
should
it-
have a project together. They
It'll be a
don't,
joint venture for us. There
Yeah.
you go.
That's good.
because of course Ariad likes to travel and like try and learn different cultures, and she certainly knows that it's hard to find places to rest sometimes when you're traveling. And
So this wasn't a sea monster, apparently.
It
As
was
an
a
air
monster of some sort. One of many monsters that roams around
I
Valia.
don't think it was our monster though. I think it was
No,
our
it
one.
sort of was a different league from the Kraken.
It's certainly. Yeah.
Couple.
you
Removed.
know, not a deity league. Yeah.
I think.
Beyond that, Demos. I mean, we're probably going to go back,
To Mitros,
to Metros, but Demos want to. There was these islands that had pirates on them, right?
Bunch of those, yeah.
Yeah, pirates have ships, and Demos needs some boats. So
Oh.
it's not like a thing right now, but one way to get a head start on boats is to take them from a bunch of pirates. We're kind of bad anyway, or go there and become pirate king as well or something. So just if you can have people look into what we know about those islands and the pirates there, might as well go and be prepared. Capture some boats.
Could you repeat that?
he wants someone to look into the pirates of the Cerulean Gulf here,
Okay.
and ideally so that he can later move to take over their ships, maybe even like I don't know, hire them as sailors or something. They clearly know what they're doing. They're sailing the waters around here, so depending on how bad they are, might hire them, might take their boats, something to do with them, right? Seems like a good way to try to solve this boat problem, at least alleviate it somewhat. And if they have boats, they must have wood to maintain it too. Maybe not in the quantity we need, but it's worth looking into. I'll give you that warning. Something you might pursue.
Okay.
That said, guys, I've taken a little bit of a spotlight here, so you two go ahead.
Yeah, I take it for now you return to Mitros.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't. Well, I suppose if we're going to try and set up a traveling hub there, it might be good to go back. But I think otherwise, I has been in Mitros for a week, a little more, and haven't really gotten to move around a lot. I think she's like planning to go off soon again. But she'll definitely start this process of like with Artemisia, funding and like getting the idea out that
Hmm.
there's a rebranding opportunity here.
Sheep, could we get like sending stones made? Like,
It could be something that can be produced in the
Mithril Forge?
Mithril Forge. Yes.
So could we perhaps just have like sending stones set up so that we can communicate, say, between my Dragonlord base and Mitros? Having just lines of communication that way. Because I think after we get back to Mitros, as there's nothing like pressing, after we sort of get the ball rolling on getting like the inn started up there, like the hub, then I think Artemisia will go back to the Dragonlord headquarters with like open invitation to everybody if they want to come visit. Nice now. Definitely more of a silver dragon habitat.
Let's go take a look.
It's quite cold. Yeah, I mean you can come have a look. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Dragonlord too.
Let's go to the Dragonlord headquarters and go visit. Show you guys around.
Yeah, let's do that. One thing though, sending stones can be made in the Mithril Forge. I'll get back to you about that because I need to look up what the price would be.
Yeah.
In
I've
addition, now
forgotten.
that you've brought it up, investing in locations is a thing you can do. Like it's something I expected to happen, and there are mechanics behind it.
Okay.
Cool.
Basically, I expect that around the new headquarters of the Dragonlords, there would be a bit of a town, a bit of a city that springs up naturally. Like that is one of the locations where that's going to happen. Period. If you want to make this this crossroads, this what is it called? This ship graveyard into a bit of a tourist destination, that would be another place where that could happen.
Nah.
Well, not tourist, but like a
waypoint.
like a meeting place.
Yeah.
It wouldn't just be like a tavern on stilts, but there would be like
Mhm.
buildings that go with it where people actually live.
Yeah, and can
Yeah.
be provision. I feel like that's also good.
It's like a small little port village, I guess, that's made for like sailors coming or like ships coming that they can just sort of stop by before heading on to the last leg of their journey. That sort of thing.
Yeah, a thing like that will develop naturally. Like if you want it to happen and spearhead it, basically, people are going to follow because you're just that awesome.
Yeah, I think
Um,
Ariad might directly like again. She needs to be sort of close to Mitro sometimes. Like she'll spend some time there, and like she likes to when she has time, go out in the wilderness. And I mean, there's not really a lot of life there right now, so she can definitely help like spearhead it and establish like try and figure out where would it be a good place and stuff.
I can't find the table right now, but you can also basically decide to invest 25,000 gold pieces to help a town just be a city. Like basically get your place a step higher through just investment of money.
Jesus. Only 25,000 sheep.
Only 25,000, yeah.
Actually, not much at all in the grand scheme of what we have.
No, that lady wanted like so much more money for a fleet.
Yeah, okay.
Can we pay anything cheap to upgrade the Mithril Forge?
Uh,
Do we need anything at all? Because Demas has tried to get like more smiths there and just promote them as much as she can, really, because they seem to be the future. But,
mechanically speaking, there isn't anything in the campaign in it of itself. It's definitely a consideration that you've got the salamander services for a year, and that's gonna run out very soon. So that might be an event that springs up in the future. But that's not necessarily something you can save with just copious amount. You can fix with just copious amounts of money. Like the Mithril Forge, it's got Mithril. It's got very motivated craftsmen. There's not that much that can be expanded there.
all right, well, it's worth a try. Yeah, let's spend the money, guys. Let's make a positive impact on the world.
Alright, yeah, let's spend some money, get this, we'll get it going. Do it.
Yeah, I'll get back to you on the details, but just so you're aware, you can basically help towns grow, and they will just pop up naturally, and you can give them copious amounts of money to develop. If
Cool.
you do that, you will be unequivocally the like leading figure of that place, even if you weren't before,
Sure.
or rather, more so than you would be naturally.
Yeah, I considered it for like the Dragonlord place, but I want to keep it sort of militaristic. So I considered like a mini army of foot soldiers and having like a whole hierarchy of like Dragonlords that start off as like just common soldiers under the banner, and then it grows to become a whole thing. But yeah, I don't know how that would translate really.
It's still a type of town, basically.
But
You still
instead of,
need
like,
buildings for people to sleep in, and like marketplaces and all that.
yeah,
If the organization is more militaristic, then that's only a minor difference. Really.
yeah, I think I want to do that. I think I will do that. Definitely want to. I want the organization to grow, because at the moment it's us four. And our dragons. That's it. But I think it could be good to have a neutral, independent, not quite a mercenary group, because they won't like be bought to do things. But I think you guys know what I'm talking about.
Peacekeepers.
Sorry?
UN peacekeepers.
Yeah, UN peacekeepers with dragons in their hierarchy.
Just have to find a way to pay for them. Then sure.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, isn't it? It's money.
For that, you need taxable people, and at that point, you're a
Yeah.
nation building.
Does it just become like? Do I just make Prussia? But
Okay.
but
Welcome to the Dragonlord Bundesland.
yeah. Highly militarist. I mean, it's an army with a state. There we go. We'll do that.
I mean, you've read like the Tamara series, right?
Yeah.
It's basically how I imagine that to be, like in the Britain area.
Sure. Yeah. What? Everyone terrified of the dragons?
Well, like very militaristic,
Yeah. Yeah.
or maybe maybe more France. Who knows?
After Longqian. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I'm down with that. I think we could talk more about details for that, but that'd be kind of cool. I like the idea of having like a small UN Peace Corps sort of deal. 'Cause that's ultimately what I want the organization to be: peacekeepers,
You
defenders.
could do it like volunteers who probably pay for themselves.
Yeah, self-sufficient.
Heroes basically being like attracted to it.
Yeah.
They're adventurers.
We can
Yeah,
But
see how that goes.
adventurers get their money from traveling around. If they can't do that, then
Eat up monsters, but that's fine, right? They're gonna show up anyway.
Yeah. I'm sure we can talk about that sort of thing. That's the point. Figure that out.
Oh, it's in Mitchell's map, right?
So I have fun.
Uh,
Should I remove the money for the Trickster Island village? I've currently reserved it.
Well, how much? I mean, that's from town to city, right? How much does it cost to like get it going into like a decent town?
nothing really. Like
Nothing.
your
Alright, just
will for
time.
that to happen is pretty much enough.
That's
I think
fucking cool.
that's like we know it. Yeah, that's like I don't want to spend it now. It's something to consider, like
Yeah.
whether we want it to evolve.
I'll just leave it as reserved, so we know that
Yeah.
it's a possibility.
How much money did we have again in the pot?
A little more than 100,000. So it'd be about a fourth.
Could you reserve 20k as like a semi-reserve? Like I want to put it aside just for a possibility in the future, but if we super need it, then I don't care about using it.
Okay, I'll just write this a Halldamir reservation, sure.
Cool.
We'll find out what that, yeah.
Done.
Oh, there was a table here somewhere that gave me more details about how development settlements may work, but I can't find it. I know it exists. I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, that's fine.
But it's basically if you have a more well-developed city, it can do more things for you, specifically in military power, should you need it, as well as other things. But yeah, I'll get back to you on that.
Thank you. That certainly makes like getting money again sort of have value other than just letting our dragons sit on it.
You then want to have people visit the headquarters of the Dragonlords, which is convenient because there's a visitor waiting for Artemisia.
Oh, interesting.
Where is Nephilim? She has the uncanny ability to always be where the action is regarding that place.
I like that.
Need to find a token. Where is she? She's gone. Hello?
Whenever I get lost with tokens, I look at Map Explorer.
I am looking at the Map Explorer.
Oh, she's just gone from whatever map.
Yeah, I don't know where.
We should be on the Tower of Sidon, right?
Probably. That's a good point. Taxes. If I can load into the map, thank you. There she is. Hello.
I'm smart on occasion.
So like a
Then-
practice of finding where things are by going back in time and seeing like when did I last use this thing?
Yeah, exactly.
How I find anything in my life. I'm like, where are my glasses? When did I last use my glasses? when did I last leave them? I'm like,
Now I'm missing the token for the visitor. That's embarrassing. I'm very well prepared right now.
Well, I mean, I think I can explain. I can give a description of where we're going, where we are.
yes.
As,
Do it.
You
as
can do that,
hunt.
yeah, while I look for a token.
Yeah. Okay. So, near the Sour Vintage, where we all began, the mountains to the north, of the little inn and the old woods, stands snow-capped peaks and a winding, pretty roughly hewn trail, with some slight divots where wagons and carriages have been running up it. Comes up to a plateau, though I suppose we only really see most of the plateau as we're going there by Dragonback. Near the summit of the mountain, not quite at the top, where where a small manor house, I guess, comes into view. And the house is made out of stone. It's quite large, with quite a lot of windows, surrounded by snow. And as we sort of touch down in front of it, Artemisia throws down the instant fortress and pops it up in front. Aravandar, having been here as often as Artemisia, sort of goes round the back, sort of gesturing for Argon and Xerxia to follow, as there's a door round the side that's big enough for big dragons to go through into the main hall. And inside is a nice like living dining room, a large open room for the dragons, for especially when they get bigger. Kitchens, storage, and upstairs a room for each of us as well as a potential guest. And like a private, like whiskey lounge or two up there as well. It's small, it's quaint, but it has room for important meetings and sort of like a lodge. And Artemisia's de facto home that's been built on this hilltop.
Yeah, as you arrive, Artemisia will notice that Nephilim is there, of course, which is not unusual. But she seems to be currently entertaining a guest in the study. I will drop a token here. The guest is peculiar, dressed in the garb of a hunter, like leather armor, a quiver, and a very large bow, like sitting next to her chair. She has the supernatural beauty that you would see that belongs to the nymphs. Specifically, Artemisia would think that she is an Oread nymph, an air-natured nymph who are rumored to be excellent hunters, users of the. There's many known bow users that have been Oreads in the past that Demos would know have crushed various tournaments in Mitros to the point where any betting man would bet on the Oread that has decided to show up for those kinds of tournaments. She doesn't seem entirely confident. She's a bit twitchy, like sitting on the chair as if it were too big for her, glancing over to Nephilim and then jumping up as Artemisia enters the room. As she gives a deep bow towards Artemisia, presumably towards Demos and probably like Xerxia snooping as well. She stutters some sort of start of a greeting, perhaps, but Nephele interrupts her as she says, Artemisia, welcome back. This here is Eco, the Huntress. She comes to apply to be a Dragonlord, in a sense. Isn't that right? The Oread exits her bow and says, yes, that is exactly what I'm here for, and not quite. Before I talk about my motivations, I have to make a request, a show of trust, so to speak. For you see, my motivations are, in a sense, selfish, just as much as they are pure and just. I am in a difficult position that I do not want to drag you and the Dragonlords into yet, perhaps, unless it is difficult. You see, I wish to begin an apprenticeship under you and the Dragonlords, who are fewer than I anticipated, I have to admit. But I would rather not talk about why, nor do I wish to consider bonding any particular dragon, if that ever becomes an option in the first place, which I don't expect. I don't expect. Nephele gives Artemisia like a bit of emotion that she's not sure what to think of this woman.
I think Artemisia is just as baffled by this woman as well, and she'll take a seat and say, okay, so you wish to join an organization that's founded upon teaming up with dragons and protecting the innocent, but you don't want to bond a dragon ever, and you don't want to make your motivations clear?
Well, yes and no. I wish to learn all this, to know about dragons and the bonding process too, I suppose, and I do absolutely wish to defend the weak, bring justice to those who deserve it. I am also very skilled, I would like to think, at least. I happen to be from, no, not directly from Eresia, but the area at least. I used to be quite famous, in fact, although I suspect that was before your time.
Quite possibly. Just because you wish to help people that are in need and would desire to learn, you don't have a instant desire to bond a dragon and form that attachment, I'm quite happy to take you on. I certainly need people. It is only us four that are true Dragonlords, and I do have a plan to have more than just people who ride dragons.
As Artemisia talks, she notices that Eco, perhaps in an attempt to be as respectful as possible, does not do the thing that people usually do with Artemisia, which is sort of not do direct eye contact for perhaps obvious reasons. She, although hesitant at first, does make almost forced eye contact with Artemisia. What's the DC on your thing?
10.
All right.
10 con save. The DC 10 con. So I think I have to spend an action to actually start it.
You have to spend an action to use it offensively in a combat.
Oh, okay. Alright.
It's oh boy, okay. In the attempt to be respectful, it does appear as if Artemisia's curse is not being too kind on her, although she does manage to suddenly look somewhere else. She's sort of putting it off as suddenly being distracted by something rather than to admit weakness.
I think Artemisia will save her and will fiddle with like her, like her clothing or something, like just discarding her gaze, or maybe having a drink, keeping her gaze away from Echo, save her from the embarrassing trying to keep eye contact and maybe being paralyzed.
As she continues and says, well, yes, I wish to learn, I wish to contribute, obviously, but as I've said, my motivations are not yet important. Perhaps they will never be. Perhaps I'm being too forward, but I have another request to make. I heard rumors, you see, that Belmitra had returned. It is also part of the reason why I came here. Surely any place, if any place knows about this rumor, it would be this one. Regardless of whether it's true or not, or whether you can talk about it, I would very much like to talk to her.
Give like a sort of sympathetic look and say, unfortunately, Belmitra herself has not returned. I'm afraid she is still very much gone. What you saw or what has been seen is something completely different.
She frowns and then nods slowly. Says, I understand.
But why did you want to speak with her if she was around? What question would you have for her?
I think that falls under my initial request. If I were to join the Dragonlords, as I hope you accept, I would rather not talk about my motivations.
If it's an
They
ancient,
are
if it's an ancient silver dragon you wish to talk to, like somewhat could be arranged.
no, it needs to be her specifically, or well, I did hear that there were other dragons that assisted you in the fight against Kentimane. They might know something that is relevant to me too. But you see, perhaps I can tell you a little bit. I know that Belmitra's family was... There's one of that family that I wish to know more about, you see.
Who might that be? Perhaps I can help. I know the family rather well, you see.
She frowns. I've already said too much, I think. She looks on the floor and says, please, simply let me stay. Let me learn what the Dragonlords are all about. Let me learn what it means to be bonded by observation. Let me do whatever is required of me, and I would be very happy with that. I think I can contribute much to the Dragonlords.
Artemisia will nod. Yeah. I'm fine for you to do that. I wish I could help more, but the dragons that helped in our fight against Kentimane wish to remain secluded. If I can pass on a question to them, then it's possible I could ask maybe one, maybe two.
If you could, that might be helpful.
I can see what I can do. We know of at least the location of one of them. Actually, two of them we do know the location of. The one is quite far away though.
Well, I don't actually know what exactly I would ask, but I know who I would ask about. Perhaps that already helps. I would want to know more about Aristona. He was one of the family of Belmitra. I do not believe that he assisted you in the battle against Kentimane, however.
No,
Uh,
I don't think so. Wait, what was it? What were their names again? What were their dragon names? I can't
that
remember. Sorry?
as soon as she said she wanted to hear something from family, I wonder if it's the Ephesian, like, god, whatever.
Yeah, the god of
Yeah,
beauty
I was like,
that's in
oh, you want to hear
Arisia.
something about the family? All right.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing because they're all of the gods, in quotations, were dragons of the Dragonlords,
Yep.
and one of them is in Arisia with the queen. So that could be that one.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but
say, would we know that, like, recognize that dragon name?
No.
Yeah. We don't have Darius.
no, means you will look back to Demos and say, do you think we go speak to him? You know, the one I know of I speak. One that's gone away to the vineyards. Malachi.
I've been muted.
Oh.
You want us to go to Arisia?
No. Do you, Artemisia, like looking to Demos, will say, do you think that we'll be able to speak to the one that is still in Thalia and is not that opposed to you seeing him?
Maybe, but I don't know that we're going to get a lot out of it. Not the most scholarly.
No, but I mean, give us something.
See why not?
Okay, Artemisia will nod and say, all right.
Attention.
Sorry?
As long as what we bring isn't attention.
Yes, that's fine. I will keep attention away. Artemisia will look back to Echo and say, very well. I will ask one of the dragons that helped us against Cantimane about this. What was the name again?
His name is Aristona.
Artemisia will nod and say, I can't promise when we'll go next, but I will endeavour to go see them and ask of this Aristona.
She nods.
It is probably the least likely of the lot to know, but it's the most available. So we shall see. But I will accept you into the very early budding Dragonlords and find some use. Let you observe. And like she sort of like turns back to Aravandar. Sort of asks him, that fine with you?
Seems to not have an opinion one way or the other.
Yeah, I figured as much. And then I'll turn back to Echo, nod and say, yeah, I think that's fine. You're welcome to one of the rooms upstairs. There's one with one bed. I think that should suit.
She nods. Is there anything else I have to do? Am I just now part of the Dragonlords? How does this work exactly?
If you had a dragon to bond, then I would have a whole oath for you to swear. But I'll get back to you on the oath part. I hadn't expected anyone to offer their services yet. So I've been busy chasing krakens and chimeras. And, hadn't been thinking on it too much. An oversight. My oversight of the Dragonlords. Will,
I see. It does please me to hear that the five are still among us.
these are like quirks.
Sense.
Sorry?
Says. Demas will interject there and say, in a sense,
In a sense, I understand.
it is more that they're willing to listen. But they have retired to the world and left us, the legendary heroes of prophecy, in their wake.
I expect it
Consider.
certainly gives them more freedom, doesn't it?
Shrugs.
How did you know?
Important sometimes to allow for a change of leadership.
I would rather not elaborate how I know.
Narrows eyes. Now this is suspicious.
A little, but I'm not too concerned. Pry those out one day. I think you and I will live long enough to find that common ground. Echo?
Demas will ask. It's not shy. Say, what do you mean by that? Why don't you want to elaborate?
I expect that if I'm on a quest, so to speak, that I would rather not drag you into. I wish to learn, which will help me on said quest, but it does not have to concern you.
No, I mean, just telling us doesn't mean we're involved.
If I were to assist the Dragonlords with my skills, I would make it a requirement that I don't have to elaborate.
Oh, this to me is not about the Dragonlords. I'm just interested as a person. I've heard great things about you. You've been in the games. You've won.
I've won a few games. I've hunted monsters that were considered to be unhuntable. I've slain monsters that most people would not have heard of. There was one contest I won, but never received my just reward. That is my quest.
Oh. Do you know anything about the Kraken?
Does she know anything about the Kraken?
Love
She
Demas.
ponders and says, I've heard that some time ago it attacked Mitros and destroyed one of the colossi.
I mean, a long time ago, yes, but have you hunted anything of that size?
No, I have not.
Yes, it's not a bit. All right. Well, if you end up needing help, I suppose you could tell us something, but if not, Sharks next time. I'm sure she can tell you whatever you need to know.
I mean, you're nuts. But, we'll go over an oath at some point in the near future. There are things that we deal with that we need to keep safe from.
Just honor. So
Hmm?
gotta have something about justice and honor and whatnot, right?
Yeah, justice, honor, and like making sure that our secrets aren't spilt to the world. I know that we're hunting things for the greater good of our land, but it'd be good if the evildoers don't find out through our own people, while on purpose or by accident. And Artemisia looks to Nephili and says, "And you normally have an opinion about people in general. What do you think of our first recruit's strange quest?" And Artemisia is quite happy to ask her in front of Echo.
She glances towards Echo and puts on a bit of a mischievous grin as she says, "Would you like me to be diplomatic or honest?"
I think we'll speak honestly in private.
Very well. I think the things she's hiding because they would be a great bother to you and us and the world in general. She knows they are, in fact, relevant, but refuses to consider the possibility that they cannot be separated. I think the quest she is on is... No, I won't. I think I suspect what is happening, but I'll let you figure it out. Overall, I think I support your decision, as I usually do.
As you usually do. Very well. Artemisia looks to Ariad and says, "And Ariad, as our most recently bonded, what do you think?"
Arya just looks at Echo a bit, you know. I trust that, as you said, the measures will be in order and, well, there's much we can learn also from Echo here wants to learn about our association. As she like tastes the word a little bit, you know, like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, oh, you're one of us. I'm like, oh yeah. I think we could also stand to learn a lot from such an experienced huntress, especially given that we are now dealing with other monstrosities. I will not pretend that it does not worry me that there's so much unsaid, but maybe in time.
Artemisia nods and says, echoing my exact thoughts of knowing in time. No. Go make yourself at home, Echo. We'll deal with Oves later.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think that.
She'll sort of awkwardly stand up, not sure if that's what she's supposed to be doing right now, but she'll basically make her way out of the room and upstairs.
Then Artemisia will look to Nephili, waits a little while for Echo to get out of earshot and says, "Okay, non-diplomatic opinion, come on. I know you've got one."
She sort of waves her hand dismissively towards the door that Echo just went through as she says, "To think that a creature as old as that nymph is as awkward as she is among us. If you want my honest opinion, I think her skills are not exaggerated. She will be useful. I expect her quest is something foolish, hence why she refuses to talk about it. I also expect that there will be issues associated with associating with her."
Do you think she is in trouble in Arisia? Or causing trouble in Arisia?
I think she intends to cause trouble for Arisia.
I don't think that matters too much. I intend to cause trouble for Arisia. Just in my appearance when we, I'm sure, eventually go there. It's not like they want me there.
No, they've made that very clear, haven't they?
Almost certainly, and good old your sister maybe sister-in-law, my great aunt. I don't know what the relation is there, but she is probably going to be sucking on a rotten egg when I show up with Aravanda still alive.
Definitely nods. Yes. Though, Eresia aside, I think you've got more pressing issues, don't you?
What, like a Titan slaying, red dragon eye keeping monstrosity? Yeah, I think that's a bit of a problem. What do you know of that thing, Nephilim?
Oh, nothing, just what you heard. Or you said, I suppose. As Echo said, I know that the Kraken has attacked Mitros before, destroyed one of the Colossi, which at the time was considered impossible. It is a fascinating creature from what I've heard from that particular incident. It did it just to try if it could, and then left. Very focused.
Highly intelligent and one of the most powerful arcane users in Thylea and its surrounding waters, I suppose. Has a very powerful pet. The whole thing worries me. And a demon guarding a door as well.
Demons are a simple affair. I could summon you demons for this place if you like.
I'm quite okay. I think a fool would. I think it would take a fool to come and attack a manor house on the top of a hill that's got us as occupants.
I wonder if Sidon fought similar thoughts.
Probably, but there was a prophecy that we were going to come for him, so I think there'll be a prophecy when things come for us.
Yes, but I expect the difficulty would be that the person who usually announces these prophecies has disappeared some time ago.
And lost the person that gave them the powers.
I don't believe the Oracle got her powers from anything in particular.
Hmm.
At least she doesn't need anything to exist to have her powers. They are hers.
Sure enough. I'm sure Darius is keeping a leisure eye out for her. Curious.
I wouldn't want to get involved in their relationship,
No.
but I do expect that he might be the reason why she's gone in the first place. Which overall is a detriment to Philea's population as a whole, but matters of heart are so difficult, aren't they?
I don't know, Demos, I think we're going to marry you off at some point. The political gain?
To who?
I don't know. That's to be decided.
I'm a legendary hero. No one's in my league.
Maybe the Queen of Eresia, maybe.
Boom. See.
I don't know. It looks to sex, yeah. 'Cause I don't really know what Arisia has done for us. I mean,
Nothing.
honestly, let them be by themselves over there. It's fine. I have no need for them, nor do I think they have any really need for me.
Oh, you could marry the Queen of the Amazons. Solidify that relationship.
Nephili shakes her head. The Amazons don't marry men, they use men.
Besides, being a bachelor king is not so bad.
suppose it's
Father
not.
never really believed much in marriages.
I think Ariad and I have quite a large number of years to not worry about it.
Mhm.
Arya sort of trips on her feet. She's like, yeah, like I have things to say about this and opinions, but I don't want to talk about relationships with these two people. They're like, no,
The most
see,
militarily focused people.
these are my coworkers. I think this is some personal stuff. And I'm like, I'm not their mother. I'm not gonna be the one to talk with them. This is not my job. I'm a legendary hero.
Legendary heroes can have love.
They can, and they can have that talk with their mom or dad or someone else. Sorry, Artemisia. I guess that's sort of insensitive.
Oh, so they're all dead.
Yeah.
All I've got is
Well.
Nephili, and I mean, you've seen her. Ah,
I mean, do you have any reason to get involved with Aricia?
not right now.
No, it's just sort of there, and that's fine. Let them be. If they mess with us, then we can talk about it. But right now, I mean,
You know, I feel
through this whole process of, you know,
I do feel like this dragon that Echo is asking about has to do with the goddess that was in Arisia. I really feel like it's connected, and I really feel like it's going to come up. And
It's a god. It's male.
it's a god. Okay, a god. I feel like it's really going to come up, and that it's going to be something that we have to deal with.
why would I have to deal with what she does?
I don't think it's going to be a matter of what Echo does. I think it's going to be something that could have ramifications that we feel like we need to intervene.
Sure, I mean, if they want to threaten Mitros, then we'll take them down.
I don't even think it'll get to that. I don't think it'll be a threat to Mitros. I think it'll be something like substantial enough that we as legendary heroes go, okay, we need to deal with this thing.
Like what?
I don't know.
They already ruled their part of the continent. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's something, because as far from what I know, like the god is like the god of beauty, I think, and like has basically been like stashed away by the queen of Arisia. Has just been kept hidden for God knows how long. And it's always been a little weird to me ever since session 1. It's always been something that's been like, that's so strange. But we had no reason to look at Arisia. We still have no reason to look at Arisia. But out of character, I feel like something is going to come of that. And I think this whole asking... I mean, Artemisia might go find Pythor now and go ask him who this Aristanor is.
Yeah.
Like, what does the name mean to him? One of the 5 that remained. I mean, we know where Pythor is, right? We can go to him easy enough. Don't want to have to go all the way to the heart to find Vulcan. Ask him, that'd be a pain in the ass. It could be done. Beep, could we go for a trip to just ask Pythor?
You could, but let's do that next time.
Okay. Fine.
Getting late and we don't have Seraph.
Yeah, which is a shame. I would have loved to have him here. I wonder if he even I know Darius was there, but it's not like he had an encyclopedic knowledge of all the dragons of that time. I guess it depends on how important Aristanor was at that time. He'd even have a clue.
But yeah, I think we're gonna end the session here.
Yeah, that's cool.
Bit
Would-
of a
I mean-
meandering session.